There it is. Oh, the music stopped. Sorry. Hey, we're live. Peter is too good for all of you, so he sent us out here. I am Russ Fisher at Dynasty Outhouse with our bestest buddy in the world, Zach Reed at Tacit Assassin 13. I tried to say way too many things at the same time. That's what you do to me, Zach. You just I get the flutters.
All verklempt.
You're a blessing.
We're gonna have to get that blown up next year. Get like a fat head size. Good evening. There's Jay, FF Briefcase in the chat. It's good to be here again. I finished up.
Again.
I've watched 49 rookies. So I'm
since we last talked.
Total. And I'm done. I'm done unless somebody like Peter tells me that I need to go back and watch more. But I'm excited to be at this portion of the program.
I am a couple of running backs into your catch-all for running backs episode. And I do just love how it's just like, yeah, this guy played running back. He did that.
There's a lot. I mean, this class
he wasn't good at it, but he did it.
This class is really flat.
Like how?
Really flat.
So we have a lot of players that go back and forth between wide receiver, running back, and then there's guys like Reynolds. What was it? Keenan Reynolds, the guy from Navy who played like every position.
Was a quarterback, running back. Yeah.
Who did every position. But apparently there's a running back that was also a linebacker.
Well, Javante Williams was a linebacker.
Was he?
Yeah, in high school.
High school, that doesn't matter. Everybody plays multiple positions in high school.
But like that was his primary position.
Oh, primary. That I didn't know.
And so, but yeah, there were two. Zacondre White out of South Carolina was a linebacker in college, and also Abram.
That's
Abram
Smith.
That's
who I was just hearing from.
Yeah, and it was just a weird, like, big.
It was just so fun to listen to you guys. Just like, yeah, no, technically this guy played the running back position. He did that.
Well, and it was Smith had more tackles in his junior year. He came out was a running back his freshman and sophomore year. Had more tackles as a junior than he did carries in his first 2 years. And then in his senior year, had 250 carries and 1,600 yards because, of course. So
like, you figured like that should help, right? Like, to me, like, it always made sense in my head that if you're a wide receiver, every so often you should start doing some cornerback drills because you want to understand the other side of what you're literally running at.
Yeah.
So it, like, in my head, it should help a running back to, on the defensive side, like, see a play develop and notice angles and lanes and stuff like that. But apparently you still just have to be good at the game for that to matter.
Yeah, I mean, the game happens so fast too that like eventually you just have to react. And I think a lot of those guys, especially at that level, is if you don't have the reps, you don't have that reaction. So it doesn't matter that you've played the other position. You're still learning this position.
Yeah.
And so, but
hey guys, what's up?
Hey,
Peter.
Hey. It's March, man. No one cares. Why are you making me come here? I spent the afternoon sitting on the couch with my daughter watching shows and occasionally annoying her. And then like 5 minutes before, I was like, okay, I'm going to go downstairs now. And she's like, I'm really hungry. We haven't eaten all day. I was like, I tried to feed you. You gave it the dog. And so, yeah, I was feeding my young. Sorry about that.
More importantly, what shows were you watching?
She's into rewatching Friends a lot right now. Okay. Well,
gonna be honest, not a fan of Friends or Seinfeld.
Gonna blow a raspberry at my daughter. We're gonna throw hands, my man. I know. No, yeah. I don't know. She picks up old shows. Or it's crazy to me that they're old shows, but that's what she does. I
was doing this.
Consider me beaten already. That. Just that, I'm done. Yeah, what we're talking about. I listened to a catch-all episode of the Dynasty Dummies as well, but you all seem remarkably positive on someone called Pierce. Got no idea who that is. You seem to love Tyler Batty, but you made fun of how short he is. And I wouldn't make fun of a professional athlete, but you guys are safe in Maine, I guess.
Not high on Pierce, higher on Keontae Ingram than
Ingram. That was the fella. Yeah.
Pierce is the running back that everybody else seems to be high on, compared to what I saw. He's out of Florida, doesn't have a lot of carries, but apparently he was really good fantasy points per touch, and has, for my money, Dameon Pierce has the best vision in the class, but he doesn't do it. He doesn't do anything with it. Like,
so what we need to have him do is lose a lot of weight and then ride someone else's back like Yoda.
I mean, like,
just be like, okay, go that way.
If you could combine him and Kevin Harris, you would have the best running back in the NFL, because Kevin Harris just runs with abandon, like 100 miles an hour all the time into the line. He was he's like Drax, like when he's fighting the obelisk, and he's just like, and that's how he runs. And then Dameon Pierce is the opposite, where he's got great vision, but can only get 4 yards. And so it's just a weird look. We have people asking us questions. The chat is hopping.
We have to be our normal half hour behind, or it's not this show.
I was gonna say, I was thinking about this show earlier, and I was like, why don't we like do drafts or stuff? No one's interested in this. We should just do underdog drafts together. Like, let's fight or something. But anyway, it's like all we do is
fight you.
All we do is spend 3 hours answering other people's questions, and they don't. Let's just do that, I guess. Jack, in what world would this ever be? Schultz, is this a super duper? Is this a super duper? I get like other people's picks if I play tight end league. Like, I can't think of a world where this is.
If you tell me it's a like full point premium,
I'd still go Bateman. No, I'd still go Bateman. Like, I need more context for this, just so I know I'm not crazy. Like, actually, we're playing in a new format, but that has to be ridiculous
for me to take Schultz. Yeah.
Weaves, I have the 106 and Superflex and need running backs. Like, you and me too, brother, but not in February. We don't. No, we don't. This is why I'm planning to trade out. I mean, plans are great, apart from mice and something. Targeting ETN close to the draft. No, trade for ETN right now is going to get more expensive. Every day that goes by, it's a worse day for trade for ETN.
Absolutely. And I think also this is going to be a weird class, because some of the guys that right now are really exciting to people are going to fall. It's that and again, I keep beating this drum, but it feels like 2019 to me. 2019 was the draft class that I did the parody of Love Stinks with This Draft Stinks. Like this, it has that same feeling where if people don't land exactly where we hope and in the exact round that we hope, it's going to blow up everybody's excitement, any excitement that there is. And so absolutely, plus ETN is going to, exactly like you said, Peter, his value is going to go up and up and up, especially once we start seeing him running again. The first video of him, in the ladder drill, his draft stock is going to go up.
I'm watching, who is it? Jameis Williams on that little board that they do, and like his stock's rising. Someone's going to run the 40 in the combine and the stock's rising. I mean, it's just crazy.
Is that tomorrow?
Question.
Is that start now?
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. Well, I think they're there now. They're doing like interviews. I think that sort of thing. But
I think Ryan McDowell and whoever else is going there, Eric, they've arrived, so the combine's officially started for them, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if we could get Ryan to starts. I wonder if we could get Ryan to run the 40 just outside. Obviously, they're not going to let him on the field. Just film him outside.
I thought maybe we throw it live to Ryan McDowell at the combine. Maybe no.
Question from PA Howdy in the chat. DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle in Dynasty.
Waddle.
I'd take Waddle. PA Howdy. I'd take Waddle all day.
Yeah. Yep. It's weird. Dynasty rankings haven't quite caught up with that, but I think everyone's saying that. I thought I was hot, and then I went and looked. I was like, I'm going to lower him. Like, the only way to be different is to lower him at this point.
DLF came out with February ADP finally. Jalen Waddle is wide receiver 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
And DJ Moore is 13.
Yeah. Yep,
So I
yep.
think they caught up.
already happened. Look at that. That's upside, right? There is more potential outcomes where Jalen Waddle ends up the top 12 as opposed to DJ Moore, because it can't really be age. Like DJ Moore's like perpetually, he's got that everlast. He's not going to be 19 his entire life.
He will forever be 24, yeah. Which he is now, even though he's been in the league for like.
Well, he was, every year, like you said, he's going to be 24 next year. There's no age concern.
Yeah, I mean he's almost 25, and Waddle's 23. So I mean, like, there's a little bit of, but not.
It's actually
much.
interesting. And Waddle, he's an older prospect,
right,
as far as rookie goes. So yeah, it's like Terry McLaurin with draft capital on better seasons so far.
McLaurin was what, 24 coming in, wasn't he? Like, he was much older.
Yeah,
McLaurin.
Yeah, he's already. But Jalen Waddle's 24, and it's his first off season. Sorry, Outhouse.
He's 23.
Okay. I thought he was 24. Okay,
he's 23.
23.2.
I'm just wrong. That happens a lot.
You look good though.
We get used to it.
You know it. Tim Shady. Evening, guys. NFL grades are at the combine prospects for NFL readiness. Any value in those grades? I mean, yeah, but the draft capital is going to tell you what you need to know. It's giving you like an advanced look. And that's why I use drafted rate in a bunch of my pre-draft models now, because it like gives you a little edge on what might happen. But unless your draft's actually taking place before the NFL draft.
Well, and
if you've got a process and you want to put them in there and it works for you, that's great. That's why I use drafted rate. But the important takeaway is going to be what the end result is.
The big thing to me for the combine is just that the guys got invited, because you now know who the NFL is interested
in. Yeah.
And so that's your first, like, a clue, Sherlock, a clue. You know, we're there, and then it will be where they're drafted, when they're drafted.
So you remember in 2018 who the most NFL ready quarterback was?
I don't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning.
Josh Rosen.
I see.
Wow, that's rough. That's rough. Great reason not to do quarterback evaluations, I guess. Michael Cole. Hey, gents, trade? Russ is all about trades today. I was going to get him to talk about what he's up to today, just in case there was, a lack of interesting things from Zach, because I never bring anything interesting. So I know Outhouse has got that in the back burner. 12-team Superflex, tight end premium, don't care. Fields, Ryan, Javante, you have undervalued quarterbacks, but you're fine. Javante, Gibson, Barkley, Mitchell, Smith, a random Smith. I'm going
to say that's Devonta.
Devonta Smith? Okay. Chase Claypool, Hawkinson. Well, okay. Hawkinson, the 105, the 106, 110. Got offered the 201 in 2023 for a late 2023 second, my own, for Smith and Mitchell. Hang on.
201, the 201 to 23 first and 23 second for Devonta Smith and Elijah Mitchell. I'd rather have the players.
I'd rather have the players.
Yeah. 2023 first value are crazy, but that's just
that's great. But I think Smith is what you're hoping that 23 first is going to be,
and Mitchell's got a lot.
And Mitchell's
pretty good.
I'd rather have Mitchell in 2 seconds. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Middle of the road team.
Doesn't matter right
Does
now.
that matter to you? Doesn't matter to you.
No, still doesn't. I never worry about other people's teams. Someone actually asked me this. I don't remember if they DM'd me or what, or it was just like someone tags me on Twitter. Like, do you worry about the other team when you're making a trade because you don't want to get another team too stacked? I literally have never thought about that before. Redraft, yes. Redraft, I kind of worry about that. But Dynasty, I've literally never looked at another person's team like, oh, I don't want to give them this guy too. Like, no, your goal is to make your team better, because if you're making your team better, you're going to try and make it better than theirs. If what you're giving them makes their team better than what you made your team better, then you didn't make a good trade.
Also, it just seems like a balance thing. If I'm going to expect not to devalue my players because of what's on my roster, I shouldn't do the same thing for you,
Yeah, 100%.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Like, you've got Jalen Waddle, you don't need CeeDee Lamb. Like, screw you. And I think they should have the same attitude if if we did it in reverse. Not you actually, Russ. Oh, he's looking. Whatever.
No, I was looking for where that sound was coming from.
Oh, we got background music in StreamYard now. It's pretty cool. Huh? Joe Herbert, I sent this comment in August of 2018. I hope you are all well.
We're catching up, guys. We're only we're less than 4 years back now. 3.5.
Just a couple more weeks. We'll be into 2019. I swear.
2018, man. I was like 4 years into podcasting. This was
in August of 2018. I was a good 5 months strong, baby.
Daniel, I'm trying to piece this together, man, but stop hitting enter. Pick two, Michael Thomas or Calvin. Like, there's two there.
I'll pick both of them. Good job.
Yeah, I would rather have Thomas over Ridley, if that's what you're asking. I don't think the value is the same. But, yeah. Russ doesn't like that. Okay.
Hand size day.
Didn't we do that last year, Zach? We took pictures of our hands to get in.
It was 2 years ago. It was Joe Burrow because Joe Burrow had the 9-inch hands, and I did I did the parody song, the 9-inch hands parody song.
There you go.
I used to have a tape measure over here. I was gonna try and see what I can get.
You should, man. Tomorrow is Pickett Handsides Discourse Day. Yeah. I don't care so much.
I'm ready for some hand size Twitter, baby.
I mean, it's like it's exactly like the Senior Bowl. It really matters for these guys and these teams and these players, and not for us. I mean, it's frustrating, but like there's like 40 of us, like literally right now. We're the only ones interested in Dynasty right now. Everyone's more interested in the, what happens in March apart from birthdays. Like everyone I know is born in March. It turns out, I guess.
Actually, I know a lot of people I know 4 people that were born on March 14th. Like just in my small area of people, there's 4 people that have the same birthday. Like my entire both sides of our family all born in March, except for me and my daughter. Like I was born in June. She was born in some other month. You don't get personal information, okay? But the rest were all born in March. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, everyone's just busy celebrating birthdays. Schultz Bateman trade context. Thank you. Tight end premium 1.5 in my home league. And was shocked to be able to get Bateman for that price. Was wondering good for you, man.
You did not miss anything. Congratulations on your Rashad Bateman.
Someone overvalued the idea of having someone you could plug in and feel good about starting, but also
don't feel that good about it.
I think it was an article came out where Stephen Jones said he's not committing to Amari Cooper, so that probably had someone bolster up another Dallas pass catcher that is.
Everybody knows vacated targets will all go to.
My guess is
right, Peter.
My guess is someone somewhere released a podcast explaining exactly how Dalton Schultz is going to win you a league next year, and that guy's going to not follow that podcast next year. That's my best guess.
And I did see some people poo-pooing Bateman on fantasy Twitter today. So maybe that it's a conjunction. It's the moons aligned. You get the Dalton Schultz podcast and the anti-Bateman, and congratulations, Jack, on your new wide receiver.
And I'm getting pummeled by John Bosch with Bateman offers because I did the freaking Outhouse Challenge today, and he's just trying to. Like he's using it as like what was the Panic Room? Was the pod he did for a while? Like he's just using this as like an experiment, which is that's the point of it, right? But he's like the first person that was just like, okay, I'm gonna send you like 12 and we're gonna see how this goes. And I'm like, okay.
I was trying to do that, but I just couldn't quite keep up with it. I was like, surely I can get Twitter to screw him somehow. I was looking at Hurts. I was like, I'm pretty sure I can get Twitter to hate on Hurts.
Bosch gave me Hurts for Tua straight up, actually.
I'm 100% sure I could get T. Higgins from Russ in one league.
Everyone.
But this is your only chance.
I did not think the Outhouse Challenge was a challenge for everyone to come after T. Higgins and Jalen Waddle.
Notice I didn't. I went after Jalen Waddle.
Everyone. Higgins and Waddle. Like and you know what? All of a sudden, Twitter loves Deshaun Watson. I got 2 shares of Deshaun Watson.
I saw that one.
I have another trade in my inbox that I still have like another 12. I'm just going to do it in the morning at this point because it's way too late. But I
still got time. Good.
Oh, yeah. Send them overnight. I'll do it in the morning. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Like and Deshaun Watson's crushing. Deshaun Watson and the 110 for Joe Burrow. Like to me, that is so easily Burrow, but it was
Wow.
Watson by like 10%.
We're learning though. I mean, if you got Deshaun Watson, there's the time, I guess.
That is
So
literally,
that's
that is the point of this, is to see where the world is. Yeah.
What you think of a trade Nico Trinidad made? Mac Jones for Carson Wentz, the 102, 23 second.
I would take the Wentz side in the 102. I think for Jones. I mean,
Yeah.
I like Mac Jones, but I don't see much for ceiling there.
Yeah, it's more, especially because like, what's the difference between starting Wentz and starting Jones right now?
I mean,
Not
Wentz
much.
was much better last year.
I think he'll continue to be much better. If it wasn't the 102, I'd say I'd probably just take the better quarterback. I think, and that's Mac Jones at this point. But
Yeah,
like the 102 is a pretty good chance
second.
of hitting something. At that point, you got like a 30% chance, especially if you draft a quarterback.
Well, in Superflex, you're either going to get, if somebody passes on Willis, you're going to get the quarterback with the highest ceiling, or you get your pick between Brees Hall or Burks or whoever you want.
Or you get to trade the opportunity for someone else.
Yeah, so
I'd pick of the skill players.
I'd take the Wentz and the 102 side of that.
Yeah, pretty easily.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I think everyone's on the same page on that one. Connor Smith, top 4 team in my league this upcoming season. Trade Amari Cooper now or just ride him out? 3 flex league, no super flex.
Say what you're about to say, Peter.
Depends would I already have? Yeah, it depends on the trade. I think it's a fair question just where you're at on a veteran like Amari Cooper. I think he's got top 24 median outcome. I think the top 12 is kind of out the range of outcome. I was actually looking at Amari Cooper, like I maintain a list of players I'm interested in by position for trades. And I took him off the team old guy because I believe it, but his value's rock solid in that. Like he's valued for what he should probably do for the next few years. So unless in your league, the person who has him is like an idiot, then you're probably going to have to pay up something whatever Amari Cooper costs, I'd probably rather spend it on a higher upside pick. So I'm a little iffy on Amari Cooper's value right now, but it's solid.
Wide receiver 24. You're going to have to find someone who believes in Amari Cooper. Otherwise, it is probably just worth holding him.
Well, no, because it depends how you look at it. But I mean, he's in that range with other top 24 wide receivers, like Marcus Brown isn't that much higher valued on him per DLF points, if I remember right. Marcus Brown and Juju, and it's just like, it's fine, but you'd probably have to trade a player I like better, or you avoid whatever you send for Amari Cooper. You could probably spend on a higher upside player. Was my thought.
Yeah. Yes.
But it does depend on the trade. Ultimately, I want to roster Amari Cooper if I get a good trade. So that's the answer. I just thought he was interesting right now. And like my team old guys, I've been trying to limit it to guys that I think have top 12 upside, if you know what I mean, trying to use them for that. And so I've got like Michael Thomas on there. I had Stephon Diggs, but he's well valued right now. Michael Thomas, and who's the other guy I managed to put on there? Top 12 upside, but you kind of got to pay for it was the idea.
I'm cheating. That's my order.
Keenan Allen. I moved Brandon Cooks onto a different list. So, yeah, it's really Mike Thomas and Keenan Allen right now, team old guy with that kind of upside. But anyway, Daniel, rank these players: Ridley, Ayuk, Marcus Brown, Michael Thomas.
That's my order.
Neat.
I mean, I could be very easily convinced to switch Ayuk in Hollywood, but that's like when I first saw it, I'm like, yeah, that feels right.
Yeah,
we all maintain ranks. So
no, that's not true. I've never done a ranking before in my life. I don't like them.
Yeah, right.
And I would just be terrible at it.
But yeah, like I'm still like I understand that Ridley, the concept of Calvin Ridley, is the best player on this list. I'm still having trouble wrapping my brain around acquiring him
I'll pay the return tax if he decides he's going to play football again. I'll pay up then. I'm not doing it till then.
That's a very different question. Like if we're talking about trading,
well, not really, because if we're talking about value, rank these players. Ranking is some sort of value order, right? The players you would give a little bit more for. Even if it's fairly close.
Let's pretend I have these 4 on my team.
Okay.
I could tell you how I would value them, and it would be in this order. If you said, hey, Russ, I have these 4 guys on my team, how would you value them and how you want to acquire them? That would be the different order.
Right.
It's weird because mine's literally the reverse order.
Well, we've already understood that you're wrong, so that's fine.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I literally looked it up just to check, and yeah, mine's Michael Thomas, Marcus Brown. Very close, by the way, because I love Marcus Brown.
Yes, we know you.
Then Ayuk and Ridley, and I think I actually moved Ayuk down after seeing your trade for him today. I was like, yeah, wide receiver 30, and still no one will undervalue him. So,
I'm so annoyed with that trade went through.
That trade to ranking the difference between the trade value and how we rank them based on ADP is kind of insane for players like Ayuk. There's always a BMI truther, you know.
Ayuk and a 23 first for Jalen Waddle. I'm so angry.
That
freaking
Waddle 1,000 times out of
Waddle 1,000 times, but somehow I got Ayuk in the first.
Yep. Twitter, I mean, it's crazy. Michael Cole, did we answer? Yeah, I think we did.
No,
Michael Cole.
Not this one.
Oh, yeah, we answered Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
What random to start up is worth a random 2024 first? Wow, that's really far out.
Oh, wait, hold on. If we're talking super flex, which I'm always going to assume we are.
Jeez.
I mean,
I'll tell you what, give me a round and I'll tell you what wide receivers are drafted there. That's a pretty interesting way of assessing it. Who would you trade? Like round 10, Laviska Shenault, Rondon Moore, Christian Kirk, Robert Woods. Are they worth a 2024 first?
24 first or like Darnell Mooney or Hunter Renfrow?
Yeah.
So round 10?
They're 9 or 10.
It's high, but yeah, I mean, Tyler Boyd's in that round as well, just for fun.
It also depends on how you're built, like how you're building. If you fully embrace the Ryan McDowell productive struggle, and you're looking at some of these older wide receivers in that area, then it's worth it to take the first 2 years out. If you're not building that way, that's not that's weird.
I used to make fun of trading for and I still do because I will not work. I just can't work that way. But if you want to get into it, yeah, you have to value first 2 years out now.
Right.
And so that's kind of what you have to do. And I think that's a fair point. Too high for me, but double digits. We'll say double digit rounds. That's when you start thinking about 2 year out.
Interesting struggle. Interesting thinking about picks 2 years out in a startup, though. I don't think I've ever been in a startup.
I was going to say,
2 years out.
That's wild. Cool. Jack Salsa. Thanks, Weeze. I'm not going to read the rest.
Yeah, that was
It's clearly not to us. And Nicholas J. How important is 40 times when it comes to RBs compared to wide receivers? It's important for how well it affects their draft capital. That's literally the importance of it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want, I can give you rough boundaries and we can talk about hit rate groups, but it's literally inconsequential after you know the draft round. So unless you're drafting between now and then, essentially a running back has to run under a 4.6. Not, oh no, it's over 4.5. As long as it's over 4.6, under 4.6, you're basically fine. Wide receivers, there's a nice crisp golden range between just under 4.5s. How important are they by the position? They're literally no more important than each other.
And then we're also at the point of wide receiver actually being like 4 different positions. We don't need all our wide receivers to be 4-2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they never were. I forget what Adam Haas called it. There's some mathematical train to explore it. But once you get into the NFL, the athleticism starts providing false signal. Compared to the population, the more athletic you are, the more likely you are to be in the NFL. And then once you get to the NFL, it literally reverses to a negative correlation because of the window you're looking at. So it's essentially, it doesn't matter.
And the Travis May had a good tweet on Monday that said, wide receiver athleticism only matters as far as draft capital. The average running back runs a 4.56, and like tight end is the one that matters. You're looking for Peter's 6'4", what is it? 6'4", 250 and under a 4.75. So like,
but I'm not gonna quibble. I'm not even gonna quibble about that. I mean, Gerald Everett confused me for a few years. Maybe he would. Brevin Jordan's under that, and I'm still kind of interested.
Trey McBride is an inch under that this year, so be interesting.
Combine Peter. Good to see your glowing smiles. Let me just uncover Outhouse, and I guess, like literally before I clicked on that, I realized you looked so bored, and then I was like, glowing smiles, and it was just an interesting contrast. Week 16 to today, I went from 1 share of DK to 9 as of an hour ago. Am I missing something? His face really dry. Yeah, and people worried about he can't do anything unless he has Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
he's probably gonna have Russell Wilson.
Yep.
So we don't have to worry about it. And also, that's probably exaggerated. So, but that's what you're missing. People overreacting to the potential of Russell Wilson and DK not being on the same team anymore. And yeah, I think in Dynasty he still is. I doubt Dynasty moved him that far out. They've got him February ADP has him as wide receiver 6. So
he's 8 in Superflex.
I mean, not to It's interesting not to be, but he got outscored by CeeDee Lamb last year in per game, and everybody hates CeeDee Lamb. Like CeeDee Lamb is the worst player ever because he was ranked in the top 5. So
I got 2 words for you: Geno Smith.
I mean, that's fine.
No, I'm starting.
Don't get me wrong. I have CeeDee Lamb above DK Metcalf, like above DK Metcalf. But yeah, I always thought it was ridiculous when DK Metcalf hit like that wide receiver 3 number. Yeah. I thought that was always way too high.
It's that BMI hive, man. I mean, look how good he looks with his shirt off, and that's what it's always been. He's expensive Tyler Lockett, but now where who was it? Ridley Truth is finding. There's a strong fear, and I'm starting to like him because his value's dropping.
I mean, there's always there's that saturation point where if his perceived value comes down to a point where it's lower than what you are willing to pay for him, then it's great.
Yeah, chances are he's going to be wide receiver 10 to 14 in scoring, and if you can get him for that price, it's totally worth it because he's fun to watch, and that's kind of important for me.
And also, if you can get him at that price, there's room for him to be wide receiver 5 or 6 in scoring. Like if he has a good touchdown season, or if he catches like 2 deep balls more than what he did last year, then all of a sudden he's fantastic. So it's not out of the realm. I mean. So,
and in terms of providing you a 30-point week, DK is definitely top 5, and that matters almost more than your seasonal long points per game. So it should be weighted in anyway. I'm heavily leaning Devonta Mitchell's side. Anyways, told him it would take at least 223 first plus the early 23 second. Yeah, I think that's it.
Because you were like 6 in August of 2018, Akash.
You're busy learning the potty train or whatever it was you do at 6. I can't remember. Daniel Mayer, sorry, Peter, I deleted the question and reposted. No problem at all, man. I'm going to just continue to be my incompetent self, and I apologize for it, but it's going to keep happening. CLU 10123. Yeah. Sure. At what point is it worth trading up from the 412? I'm assuming that's a startup pick. Sorry. Yeah. For a second, I thought you were talking about rookies. In a 0.5 tight end premium league to draft George Kittle. If you can get him anywhere in the 4th,
he should be drafted by now.
Yeah, definitely.
And it does, I don't even care premium or not. Like he's going to give you a positional advantage, even if there is no premium. But he is one of those 6 that will give you a boost with the premium.
I'm not even the biggest Kittle fan, but even still, I would go after him around the 412 if he's still around.
Yeah, he should be gone by the end of the 3rd. So if he's not, he's immediately interesting to trade up for. Hello, need some running back help this year, and have the 1, the 5, the 9, the 12.
Wow.
Feel
I mean,
free,
you'll find
man.
it in there somewhere.
this year, what
Oh,
are
okay.
some
He wants to
names?
know who to trade for the picks for.
Nice. Running
Uh,
backs target right now. I don't have many running backs I would target right now. I just wrote a little mini article about him. Does anyone have any answers off the top of their head?
I would honestly see if you can get Dobbins or ETN, and then later when those guys go up in value, closer to the start of the season, flip them for a running back you'd rather actually start. You don't want to trade for a running back right now anyway, because it's actually March and we're not setting lineups for 6 months, so you're not setting anything, so you don't really want to settle yourself on running backs because I don't trust them.
I think that's a smart way of looking at it. If you're trading for running backs, it's not necessarily trading for the ones that you want to start. Right now in February, that's not necessarily the way you want to go.
I mean, if you can somehow pull Jonathan Taylor, then by all means, go get Jonathan Taylor. That's fine.
Najee Harris? Is Najee Harris available? Can we do that?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're going to get, like, one of the top 3 running backs, and honestly, no. Okay, if you can get Jonathan Taylor or Najee Harris, I kind of draw the line.
That's basically it.
Yeah. Because honestly, like, Javante Williams is so weird how high he is. And they're going to either keep Melvin Gordon or bring in someone else. And I think the world has it in their head that Williams is going to be a workhorse, and there's zero reason to think that. So it'll probably drop his value. So those are the only 2 guys I would bother. Like, if I can get Najee or JT, I would do that now. Otherwise, I would not take a running back right now.
There's a lot that can happen between now and eventually, and there's going to be some value drops at least. Probably. So.
The one guy that I would and maybe I'm way off in my values, but I would throw something like the 109 and a second, whether it's this year or next year, I don't care, to go see if I could get Josh Jacobs, because I think he's one of the running backs that has a pretty secure job. Yeah. He is not particularly old, even though he's been in the league. He's only 24. So you've got another 3 years before you start worrying about age. And I think he's a little bit undervalued in terms of the community, because he didn't do what everybody thought he was going to do coming out with his receiving work, even though last year he was not awful as a pass catcher. So
towards the end, too.
That's something that I wouldn't mind. Again, I agree with everything you guys said and the trades that you would make, but Jacobs, again, for like the 109 and a second, if you could pull something like that off, I would be interested in it. If not, fine. Do what Russ and Peter said.
I'm posting that link in the chat because I wrote it for free, and I haven't done that
great.
Yet.
Yeah, that was good.
I thought it was interesting. Yeah, essentially, the Saquon Barkley, he's going to be the answer to every value running back question this offseason, and there'll be others. Josh Jacobs is a really good one, but he's someone I'd probably want to trade for to start, and I'm not excited to do that right now. But if you can get a good trade on him, like Brett says, it's about the trade, not the timing necessarily.
I was quoting you.
I know.
I'm doing the Outhouse Challenge right now, which, for people listening, if they don't know what it is, I unfortunately did this for all of my leagues and put no restrictions on it. So, holy balls. But Kasem offered me Josh Jacobs for my 111 and the 201.
That's very fair.
I'm very interested. I'm not gonna post any polls now because it's late, so I'll probably do it in the morning. I'm very interested to see how that one goes. Oh, and by the way, I didn't finish. People send me an offer. I take that offer. I put it as a poll on Twitter. If the side coming to me wins the poll, I accept it. I have not liked how it's been going, but it's going, and that's one of the offers I'll be posting tomorrow.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs could cost about one single first-round pick, and I think that would be a really good deal. If you could, even right now, that would be a good deal. If you could get him for the 109, the 112, I think that'd be lit. Saquon Barkley is probably a little more expensive than that, which is probably why I'd wait. Antonio Gibson's really interesting. He's Dynasty running back 12 in single quarterback ADP. For some reason, that matters, apparently. I think he's interesting. I think people got a little over their skis on him last year, and they've come off him a little hard because his points per game didn't live up. He's running back 18, but I actually think he improved his overall offensive share. He had like I wrote it up. It's in that damn thing I just posted, but like he went from 46 to 58% share of the rushing opportunities. Like I think he's at a 19% expected points per game.
You can blow dry cows and they get fluffy. That's what someone just texted me, so I needed to share that with everyone.
That's much more fun. Let's do a podcast on that. Do we have any more fluffy cow pictures?
No, it's just those.
No.
Oh wait, hold on, because you only here's the two that are on the bottom.
Nice.
Like I want to hug that cow on the multicolored one so bad.
I could see you running through that field to hug that cow. Just
sticky toffee, old fashioned Irish whiskey.
We lost Russ.
We lost Russ.
Amaro caramel and black truffle date.
We lost him to a good cause. To be fair.
So many people are texting me all of a sudden, and it's interesting stuff. So I'm like, I'm going with it.
That's fine. Go with it. Okay. I'm enjoying it. We got a comment. We got a question on Twitter. Why not? We'll do that. DJ Moore in the 108 or Amari Cooper in the 23 first and a 23 second and a 23 third.
So I'm sorry, DJ Moore and what?
The 108
versus Cooper and a 20.
A first, second, third next year.
I'll take DJ Moore and the pick now.
Yeah, it's more, but it's close.
It's this. Yeah, I wouldn't begrudge either side, but give me the pick now to do something with it, and I would rather have DJ Moore over Amari Cooper.
Yep.
Just traded Judy Smith and a 23 third and received Fant 22-103. Did I win this trade? Yes.
Yep.
If you got Fant, then you won that.
You traded Fant away recently.
You got an increase in draft pick. Hang on. Oh, you gave Jared Judy. I missed that bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the 103, especially if it's a super flex, gives you
way higher than
at least a pretty substantial chance of getting better than Jerry Judy. As much as I've been on the Judy hive,
probably
in the Judy hive.
Like, where would you put Judy right now?
I was going to ask. Where you
in 10,
probably 105 or 6.
I was gonna say 6 or 7.
Yeah. But see, you're higher.
And we're both high on him.
You are higher on this class than I am, though, because you have been hanging out with Kane, and which is fine. Like Kane is more plugged into this than I am, but I am not as high on this.
I'm a sucker for wide receivers is what it's coming down to. And the more I hear about like Garrett Wilson, I'm like just getting excited about. And
Garrett Wilson's good. I'm
really only like Burks I'm excited for. And I have this weird attachment to players that were very big in the Devy community like 16 months ago, but all of a sudden we hate now that they're eligible for the draft. Of course, that left me with like Chuba Hubbard and Kylan Hill, but like Chris Olave was like really highly ranked. Maybe he's not great, but I still think he could be very good.
He's fine. I mean, he's fine. He's fine, but he's not gonna. I don't think that he's going to produce for fantasy the way people are excited about him. And I think that's the problem. I think that's the disconnect. Is like you see these guys be really good college football players, which is awesome. And they may come in and be really good NFL players, but that doesn't necessarily translate to what we're looking for fantasy points. And I think that's the disconnect for me and my ranking. Like I've had like 15 people say you're an idiot because you don't have Jahan Dotson in your top 12. I'm like, that may well be, but I think that you're trying to thread the needle on Brandon Cooks with Jahan Dotson. And most guys who look like Brandon Cooks and play like Brandon Cooks don't do that in the NFL because, I mean,
isn't it funny how those arbitrary lines still matter as well? That's such just rookie flexing. Like if you're high on Jahid whatever Doxson because he's wide receiver 12. Dude, who's the 12th wide receiver drafted over the last 3 years? Give me 3 names, quick. Like, wide receiver 12 is an insult if you're talking about fantasy relevant. It means you probably don't think this guy is going to do shit.
Right.
That's what it means.
Well, and that's
so
what
being
I
in
said.
the top 12 means no, exactly. That's just someone trying to be high, just in case they hit. They're in my top 12. If you don't have them in the top 3, you don't think they're going to do shit. Yeah. That's what it is.
Especially
wide
receiver.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was somebody else asked me. I had Pickens at 3 and Drake London at 5. And they said, how come are you low on London or high on Pickens? And I was like, neither. Like they're in the same tier. And after the combine, Pickens is going to be up there for everybody because he's going to run pretty fast. And everyone's going to go, oh, George Pickens. They're going to remember that he was a 5-star recruit and that he's really good.
Yeah, he's another one of those names that was very big in the Devy community, then just sort of went away.
But he went away because he got hurt. Like he tore his knee up and got back for a game and a half at the end of the season. Like, that's why it's what have you done for me lately? So anyway, sorry, keep going with the questions because we're getting way behind.
I think it's not frustrating because I'm doing it. Like, there are players I like outside of my top 3 that wide receiver ranks, but like in the back of my head's always like I'm putting David Bell at 5. He's at 5 right now, and I really want to move him up, but it's not justified by my ranks, and I do it a certain way, and everyone's got their own thing. But like I know. Like I had Rondell Moore at 5 last, and the best I could do was say how that felt bad, but he wasn't 5. I just couldn't move him up. I like him more than that, but likelihood of hitting, that's where he's at. And like, I know. I think sometimes we hide behind like wide receiver 12 sounds good, wide receiver 6, 7. It's like basically saying you don't think they're ever gonna do shit.
And that's why I hate rankings, even though people love to see that. Like, to me, it's with wide receivers this year, it's Treylon Burks in a tier by himself. Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson's there, by the way.
Tier by himself. So like it's Burks, then like a small tier break Wilson, and then it's to me Pickens, Bell, London, and whoever I had at 6, and I can't remember.
Justin
Ross. And like I really like
Justin Ross. I was kidding.
He might be 7, but he's right there. Let me pull it up. No, Jameson Williams is 6, and then Ross at 7.
Nice.
So, yep.
Team Clem's a big wide receiver, baby.
If you want to hit, just look like you know what you're doing without really not know. Just hate everyone. But if you want everyone to like and follow your content, say you love everyone. Like, both are just as unhelpful, but they have positive effects. And it's just like the counter opposite. And it's not, I know. Everyone wants to love everyone just in case they do something, you know?
I went on the Debbie Hot Sauce pod this week and said to them, like, the reason why I do rankings is for me. I only play in 6 leagues. So I am doing all of this scouting and film work for me. So when I tell you I like a player, I'm going to be drafting them in my 6 leagues. Yeah. So if I miss, then my teams are bad. So this is like that's where I'm at. Like, it's not I'm not trying to hot take you. I'm not trying to, make people look. I don't. If you want to look at my
exactly.
Rankings, great. If you don't, that's fine. But no, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that.
That's where I'm at in my rookie process. Just frustrated with myself. I want to like, this guy did something so good, but I don't know really if they're gonna do anything because I don't know. Anyway, and so I'm just frustration land in ranks right now. FF Lefty Zach just got done with this year's Dynasty Dummies Hootenanny. Well freaking done. Very well said, sir. So much fun because you can tell you already really love doing it. Shout out to J Mike and Matt too. The parody songs slap. They really do. If
you're not done
to any of them.
FF Lefty, you're not done. We've got one more show this week that is the catch-all receiver show. A couple of receivers that you want to hear about. And it was funny, Russ, you mentioned the Melvin Gordon, Javante Williams. While I was waiting for Peter to let me into the live stream, I was recording. We don't talk about Melgo. so it's happening.
No, seriously.
Oh my God, I have to hear that.
You need to check them out. It's not just parody songs, but they are pretty good. Nick on. Evening, gents. 12 team, 4 PPR, 1 QB, Swift, Barkley, and a
Barkley in
late
the 23 first. Going
Barkley in the
away.
first. Yes.
The
easily.
value is probably Swift, but I really
That's
Here's
the
my thing.
one thing that stuck out to me. Like I was trying to accept that the market knows what it's doing. When I was writing them up, I was like, these guys are definitely good and definitely valued. And it was Swift, it was JT, it was even Cam Akers a little lower. There's like 4 of them, but I was like, but Swift looks like such a good sell. There's almost no one on the list I wouldn't sell for Swift for plus, if you know what I mean. Swift for whoever plus, and it's just I don't know. Sorry, carry on. You were saying.
No. Like it was just gonna be me complaining about something I've been complaining about for a couple of weeks now. Where, I mean, Swift is technically. I mean, hold on, he's got to be a top 4 running back, right? RB3,
Running back 3, yeah.
The big problem is like RB1 used to be like up here because CMC, Barkley, Zeke, Kamara, we're all just wrecking fantasy football. Well. So RB3, we'll just say was Kamara was like here. Right now, RB3, DeAndre Swift is like here. Like RB3 doesn't mean the same thing as it did 3 years ago. And I think that's where the big disconnect kind of is because like I said before, like I wouldn't go after Swift right now, even though he's the RB3, because I don't feel safe with him. So like all these guys are saying, well, yes, Saquon Barkley is absolutely not safe either, but he is also the running back 6. So if you're telling me I can go from RB3 to RB6 and get a 23 first on top, and just to put out there, 2 years of age difference. That's like next to nothing. Yeah. So yeah, I'm there for Barkley in a first.
Like that's the every time good running backs hit their 6th year, we get 6th year running backs in the top 12. Like that's the part of the age narrative and running backs we don't say. Actually, everything you're saying showing up on ADP, single quarterback, like this is the fewest number of running backs we've drafted in the first 2 rounds for like 5 years.
Since like 2014 or 15, probably.
Like 40% each round is running backs, and it's usually 50, 60, 70. And it's because we all want to draft the old guys, but later because they're old. You know what I mean? So that's what we're all doing, I guess. Give an update on the Cowboys speculation. Sorry. Cooper Gallup
spectacular
outlook next season, as well as how it could affect Dak's fantasy upside. I expect Dak Prescott to be a top 5 QB. I expect Murray Cooper to be a top 24 wide receiver and CeeDee Lamb to be a top 12 wide receiver. Michael Gallup, if he stays on the team, has top 24 upside, but it will be difficult to maintain all of that. Dalton Schultz, I could not care. I don't. That's not the kind of tight end I care about. I don't care.
He was the kind of tight end that if you grabbed 2 years ago when he didn't cost anything, you're happy about. But now is not the time to acquire a tight end that everybody overvalues. He's
a top 12 tight end, and they just don't matter much.
Yeah.
Like we'll get other top 12 tight ends.
And I would be honestly, any of them leaving makes me happier for all of them. Like there are so many people I like catching passes in Dallas that I would be happy if 1 or 2 of them left so they can go to another team and catch passes and open up the offense, because I don't think Cedric Wilson is going to be stealing as many targets as Gallup or Amari Cooper would. I should say earn them, not steal them.
Hey. I think if Gallup went to a different team and his top 24 upside might be a little more secure, it'd have to be a good one. But honestly, I like him being there. I think he helps the team, and that helps Cooper, and that helps Lamb, and that helps Dak. There's a conservation issue there, but ultimately, I think more good players on the same team helps the team more broadly. But yeah, fair point. Tony or Rondell?
I'm on the Rondell side of this one.
Yeah.
I'm actually I've gotten swindled into liking Kadarius Toney at the moment. Stupid Jesse Reeves, but still, this is easily Rondell.
Yeah, here's the thing. Everything people say about Toney is true. He's a little undervalued based on his performance in 2021. An over 2 yards per route run, and that's a very strong list to land on. But it's not infallible. And one of the few things you can definitely point to with being, and it's not Chase Claypool, it's not Tavon Austin. When you perform that well on a per route basis, the danger is if you didn't see it enough. And there are ways, like Adam Haas said, painstakingly has taken me through this several times because he's smart and I'm not, about how you can adjust for that. And I'm a simple man. I'm going to go look at what happened in the past. And players who ran, less than 250 routes who end up on that list miss a lot more often. That's the way Tony's season looks good. So I think he's more of a 60-40 proposition than an 80-20, how most of those positive articles frame him. And I still cling to his rookie profile, which is he couldn't do it in college. And the NFL.
I traded the 210 and a 23 second on a good team for Kadarius Toney.
I think his value is solid right now. I don't even have any complaints
that
about
felt
that. But then when it comes
to me with the risk baked in.
Definitely.
So
Especially with the upside.
That, then I'm all for that risk. But I still think Rondell's a better player.
But this is 1-to-1 though, and Toney has more value than Rondell right now. Do you give up? Do you burn that value to get the player that you feel a little bit better about? That's a good question to me. I don't know.
Held close enough that it shouldn't matter.
It seems like I know Rondell dropped a couple rounds. I think he's around 10-ish. I think he's in that round we were just talking about, worth a 2024 for. And Toney's moved up. So I imagine there's quite a difference.
Wide receiver 46 and wide receiver 49 in ADP.
What am I missing then?
David Bell is actually above Rondell Moore right now by 2. I thought that was interesting.
The rookies did come in.
Yeah, it's February. That's why I waited so long.
Hang on a second. Rondell Moore's been drafted in round 10. Toney's been drafted in round 8. So there is a 2-round difference, even if the wide receiver rankings are pretty close.
Oh, yeah, 118 and 133. Yeah, I missed that. Yeah, good point.
I don't know. I won the Rondell Moore. I'm with you guys. I'm just like,
yes.
Technically, shouldn't you get Rondell plus for Toney?
If I was the kind of person that would do same tier, same position, I would trade Toney for Rondell. Straight up.
That's fair.
I may go try to do that in the one league that I have Kadarius Toney.
I think that's, and I'm pushing it because I think that's an interesting take. Like, because there is a ADP difference there. That's a strong position. I'm on it. I just traded for Rondell. I think it's interesting that way.
Like, it goes back to the 2020 draft and Swagzilla, where Swagzilla 0G, where he traded CEH straight up for DeAndre Swift, which was seen as heresy at the time. Like,
right. Sometimes you just give it up. Yeah.
You go for the guy you believe in, especially when they are that close. And don't forget, at that time, they were close to each other at the time. So it was still, oh my God, CEH, he's the 106 overall in startups, which was the dumbest thing.
So ridiculous.
That was almost as dumb as us putting Baker as the QB 1 or 2 after his rookie year. But still, like, just
I had Tony impressed, Rondell disappointed, and we're still on the opposite. I agree, and it's going to be a conversation.
Yeah. Right. Move on.
What were you going to say, Zach?
No, nothing.
No, I'm interested.
I think I hurt his feelings when I brought up the Baker thing.
No, absolutely not. I didn't put Baker up there.
No. Like you had like this level of disgust and upsetness brought out when I said that out loud.
No. It was actually I was having flashbacks to Kyle going all in on Hilaire and being like, yeah, and I'm going, no, like Jonathan Taylor was still the one in that class. Like Hilaire was my 5, which was high pre-combine, pre-draft. Like, like that was a thing where everyone was like, you have Clyde Edwards-Hilaire as your 5, and I was like, yeah, I think he's up there. He's still below Swift. He's still below, he was below all like Swift, Dobbins. There was one other.
I guess that's why I'm kind of pushing it, because you've
JT.
It's good to go in on your guy. You have to do that at a certain point. But like, I can't point to anyone like except explaining it. I don't have anyone like with Tony. You just say, yeah, it's a rat run. And it's a good. It's true. He outperformed what we expected this year.
But you're also
risen in ADP.
Like, I know we don't do splits, and I know we don't, but like most of his performance, most of his season was 2 games. And back to back.
The thing with Tony is I know he does amazing things on those few times he got the ball, and it's
so
hard
fun
to
to
rely on that. You know,
Yeah.
But again, it was literally 13 targets, and there was like 10 and 13 targets, like back-to-back games, and then he never saw that again. And I think the people that like get frustrated with Rondale Moore again, like I had him in that top tier of wide receivers last year, and I will fully own that I missed on that. But I also think that Rondale Moore is better than what people are giving him credit for. And if he'd gone 3 more yards and had 3 touchdowns, everybody would be raving about what a great year Rondale Moore had. He got knocked out at the 1 3 times this year, and it ended up being James Conner touchdowns.
Calvin Johnson syndrome. Okay.
I mean, like, and again, like, I'm not saying.
And now we answer James Conner questions every week.
but
He's back.
But and I'm not saying that makes Rondale Moore great, but I'm saying that it's like the perception would have completely changed if you got 3 more yards.
That's true. I mean, yeah, I guess that's the difficulty I'm having. I'm typically someone who chases inefficiencies in a market, but I do this little bit of evaluation, and Rondale was good in it, and trying to merge the two is tricky for a guy who literally didn't watch all those three instances. 10-team Superflex, tight end premium. Trevor Claypool in the 106 for Deshaun Watson, I'm guessing. ETN and a 23 first.
I'm so angry. I'm just going to pick against Watson right now because I'm so mad right now.
I'd rather have the Watson, ETN, and the first side because
I think the right answer, but I'm just so angry with Deshaun.
I think ETN's worth more than Claypool. I'd trade the 106 for a 23 first, and then Watson and Lawrence push. If Watson comes back, he's way
Twitter
better
does
than
not
Lawrence.
agree that is a push. So I'll tell you that one.
Claypool's one of the few hit that 2 yards per route run in the rookie season threshold, and then disappointed the following year. It happens.
The guy in this class that everybody wanted Chase Claypool to be.
I don't know who you're gonna say.
You do?
Yeah, you sent it to me.
I sent that to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Weird to actually know something for a change. Only just guessing.
It's Christian Watson. And it's weird because he's so unlike most players that I like.
No.
But he has he's very tall, small school, but has the ability to go downfield and separate and stretch the field, which is, I think, what people were hoping Claypool's athleticism would do. Man, it's fun.
Oh, by the way, it was 56-44 Watson over Trevor Lawrence. It's closer than I thought it was. The Twitter poll that made me trade away Trevor Lawrence for Deshaun Watson.
I can't find him, but I believe I went back and looked at Watson because enough people asked me about him, and I came away mostly higher than I thought I was going to be. But
man, if he is on the field, he's top 5.
I don't. Yes.
No, he didn't. He's lying. He's lying.
I haven't seen it. I will. I guess.
So be a man and admit it. Don't lie.
I refuse to be a man. I'm going to continue to be a nerd. It's fine. Fake nerd. 4th and 1. Anything specific at Tacitus13 is looking for at the combine.
I am a big film guy, not a big Devy guy. I'm not a big combine guy. Like I don't think that the combine tells us anything more than a few of the smaller school prospects are athletic enough to play in the NFL. And gives the NFL a chance to look at these guys and make decisions. The real moving and shaking happens at the draft from here, at least from my perspective.
I put it in the general chat, and I will go look. Thank you very much. This is a man that is the reason I have routes data. So I'm playing. I'm being check him out. He's cool. 12-team Superflex tight end premium. Tua commit the 108 or Cousins 205, Montgomery, and is it Khalil Herbert?
Yeah.
Tua. No, it's
Cousins and the running back.
I want to say Tua, but I think the answer is Cousins and Montgomery. No. I'm sticking to it. I would much rather have Tua over Cousins. The 108 Montgomery is a little bit of a push for me, and I don't care about Komet or Herbert. And then there's a 205. Never mind. It's the cousin side.
I like your process. I
My
like
bad,
listening
everybody.
to you talk through that.
What is that?
That is the meme he's talking about.
I wish you would like.
Yeah, I'm
enlarge
working on it. I'm working on it, dude. I'm not the smartest man in the world. Okay,
this. We need Bob Gilchrist tech support.
right. Your team just got beat by Marcus Hollywood Brown, apparently with Terminator Drive. Can I stop showing that I've got a cheat sheet up now? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, please.
I'm sorry. FF Lefty saw that on Twitter at Cash. I really liked it in real life. Not sure about whether Twitter or like
It's all about those likes, baby.
Hey,
Hey,
Joe.
Hey, Joe. Thank you. Kevin Cole of PFF, senior data analyst, says 10-yard splits for running back and tight end is more predictive for World of Warcraft. I don't know.
World of Roarcraft wins over replacement.
Wins over replacement. That's it. He says 40 is
Like
useless
World
pretty
of
much.
Warcraft.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who actually who comes away saying that the 40 is good. Honestly, I found many smart people who do statistics and have PhD degrees argue with me on it, but it's all based on the central premise. People have gotten more athletic over time, and then you look at the combine, like, oh, that's the same problem. No, not really.
We just need shit to talk
They've
about.
always been the top 2% of the population. That's the problem.
But Peter, athleticism matters in athletics.
It sure does, but everyone in the NFL is pretty athletic. I don't know what to tell you.
I literally can't argue with
pound you in a basketball game. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe not you, Zach. You're a different kind of fellow all by yourself. And Kevin Cole's legit, so if he says it, it's probably true.
I mean, that's fine, Cash, but like I play fantasy football, so like eventually I need points, and CeeDee Lamb outscored him. I'm sorry.
And also on a bad season.
Yeah.
With the quoted Geno Smith. If I do find it, I like it. I'm definitely saying to send league mate. I think he's talking about the meme again. Yep. Cash, stop stealing our show. That's where I posted the link. We're just catching up with that. Joe trading early for running back goes both ways. Selling Javante Williams early, a potential running back difference maker, can because Gordon can leave. Williams has
certainly.
Can.
Yeah. But it is.
But you're paying for it to happen already. It's not like when it happens, he'll be better. He's like already there.
Well, okay, we're getting a little too specific in the Javante Williams thing because
that's fair.
It is absolutely treated as a given that Melvin Gordon is gone, putting Javante at running back 3 or 4. But it is.
I just feel like we've seen that before too.
How often does a random running back's value, who stays on their team, not a free agent, like a guy, just any random running back who is not injured, how often does their value go up before the start of the season from now? Like, what has to happen for a random running back's value to go up? Like, maybe we get a little happy if they draft a really good offensive lineman, like a nice guard.
So I get what you're saying. Like, initially, though, the community was low on Javante Williams.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, and then they overcorrected, as we're wont to do. And so now the ceiling is baked into the price, but the floor is not. And so I think that's the issue with Javante Williams. And if you've got Javante Williams on your team, I would probably hang on to him. Just because.
And the thing about running backs is, especially this early, is you do have to run the gauntlet. I mean, I was in on, despite really liking James Robinson, him getting completely cooked by ETN. And that didn't work out for a much more horrible reason. And we've also seen running back committees come up. We always expect the veteran to leave or be nothing sooner than he tends to be. And honestly, if it doesn't happen this year, and it could not happen this year, that's what Zach's pointing out. Like, it's expected to. It could not happen this year because Gordon's pretty good. And he could just remain on the team. Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb still going strong. It can happen. Like, people start to talk about, well, if you can't push a veteran out of the way, are you any good? And then you get to the end of the season, he's still very good, but there's less belief in it. And so, yeah, there's a whole range of outcomes.
Like, especially running back wise, like we are pretty much
I know.
We are past the idea of workhorse running backs. It's just, I mean, we're seeing what it does to Christian McCaffrey, who we were literally calling the Incredible Hulk because he looked like the Incredible Hulk. But, it's not going to happen with the extra game and with people wanting to protect their investments. Even if Melvin Gordon leaves, Denver's not going to do nothing at running back. They're going to bring in someone to give at least a good 20 to 30% of the touches.
Who won't be Melvin Gordon, to be fair.
But still, they're going to get touches. This isn't going to be Javante's backfield. It's going to be it might be Javante and those three guys that split that percentage of touches, or him and one other person. But I don't think it would really matter if Melvin Gordon leaves. Like, if Melvin Gordon leaves, that's an immediate sell on Javante Williams, because there might be a double counting when it happens. And if that does happen, I'm not going to have Javante on any of my teams. Does
Javante Williams as a player have a bigger upside if he was a larger part of them? Same, Gordon gets injured or leaves, and they bring in, anyone to take up 20% of the workload, because that's what happens, like Russ is saying, on a backfield. Does he have a higher upside than any of the other top 5 backs you like in the league?
Wait, sorry, what?
Honest question. Like, if it happens, does Javante Williams have more upside than Najee Harris, Jonathan Taylor, Antonio Gibson, if they do what we expect them to do next year? Do we think that he's going to be putting up CMC numbers?
No.
But I think that's what I'm driving at. But if it happens, you can get right now, before it actually happens, you can get a player who's going to do what we expect him to do when it happens. Plus, that's where I'm at. It's not about Javante Williams. I can get that plus right now. So if he's on my team, I'm interested in doing that. If I can't, I'll just keep him because he's very good.
Yeah,
and I think that's
exactly. It's not really about the specific player. It's about a good player in this situation and at the values that they are. No one will be sad whether Melvin Gordon stays or leaves. No one will be sad for having Javante Williams on their team.
Right.
I mean, unless he punched your mom or something, in which case, why do you have him on your team in the first place? But like, seriously, can you imagine like someone walking up, punching your mom, and then you draft him in fantasy? Like, there's some family issues right there. Yeah, my mom's not great either, so maybe I don't know.
Mostly interested in the points, to be honest with you.
But it's really like we're getting very tied up in the idea of Javante Williams when we're, at least I don't want to speak for you guys. I'm not specifically talking about him. I'm talking about a good running back in that situation.
And I think that the Javante Williams situation and the Sell Swift situation is very similar, where the community is overvaluing that player, that's exactly what you're. I mean, I get it. I'm with you. I'm there. I'm hit. I'm happy that I got Javante Williams at like 106 and 107.
Because I do think it's going to happen.
My running back one.
And when it happens, everyone who bought into it will be like, I told you. I'm like, yeah, we knew. That's the point. Right. The running back I got in return is also doing that. And I got a pick, or I got Marcus Brown, or I got something else like that. That's Dynasty. Unfortunately, if it's
and it's nothing against Javante Williams, because Javante Williams is fantastic. Like, he was my running back one last year. And I think he's great, but again, if there's some strategy to this.
I am, yes. 4-1 says 5 CMC and Saquon. I mean, running backs right now, all the stuff we just said, but yeah, I would have him on the buy list, and I do.
I was pretty shocked to see that Saquon and CMC built their way back up on the running back rankings.
They did.
That would make me not want to buy them. But
I think it's a week.
If I can get them at the lower costs that we were getting them like a month or two ago, then yeah. Saquon, yes. CMC, I don't think I'd be willing to pay even what CMC was worth then. I'm pretty out on him.
We're the group of you all are pretty smart. ADP does pretty smart things, and CMC and Barkley are back up, but they're still down. And the reason I buy both is because the upside for CMC is higher than anyone else.
Yes.
But his cost has also decreased more than anyone else's. So it's kind of built in a little bit. It's about the trade.
Yep,
We're just going to go back to that. And right now, I'm not sending out offers for Saquon or CMC. Because
I sent out some
running back-
offers from Saquon.
Saquon's at running back 15, isn't he? On the DLF. Am I looking at the wrong?
Oh,
Saquon's running back 6 right now.
yeah.
In what are we looking
February
at?
Superflex.
Oh, so how come that's wild to me. So in startup ADP non-superflex, he's running back 15, but in superflex, he's running back 6.
Is it really? That's insane.
How does that?
The
How does
difference
that track?
between them?
Well, it's just
is
different
wild.
people drafting different.
I can tell you what it is. We got a 6-round sample making ADP. That's what it is. We do 6 drafts.
Wow. You're not kidding. You were right. He's running back 15 in 1 QB.
Honestly, I was thinking about this. I think this is why Keep Trade Cut is going to take off. It keeps getting stronger, and people like it. It's slick looking, and it's going to keep getting stronger the more people use it because they answer that question every time, and it's updating quicker and better. And we've got a 6-round sample, and Keep Trade Cut might be it. Might be the endpoint for redraft and dynasty ADP on the different websites we go to. But it could be another website. To be fair, they seem to change out every season. So. It can backfire. Yep. And
yes,
Gibson
was hurt pretty much all of last year.
Yep. And performed well on a larger opportunity. It was impressive. Yeah. 4th and 1 ran, and it's not like Washington was helping out their players last year. That's the impressive thing about McLaurin. Ran the 23 first or the 106. What's the cutoff line for you guys? Ran there?
That's it. I take the 23 first over the 106. But that's just me. I know, Russ. Look, you and Kane, you put your heads together and take the 106, but I'd rather have the.
Right now, I would probably make the wrong decision and take the 106 because after the draft, I think there's a very good chance it will move closer.
So here's my thinking. You ready? Malik Willis. All right. Hall, Spiller, Burks, Wilson. Trade out.
And the thing is, I'm willing to put one more quarterback that will find his way into a good situation, and I will get into him.
That's fine. I mean, you do that. I'd rather have the 23 first and the.
Again, I told you it was probably the wrong answer, and right now, I'm fine paying the wait and see tax. Always, I'm trying to think of like a fantasy football situation, but like I'm doing a lot of stuff with football cards right now. And, when Joe Burrow was killing it in the playoffs, well, the Bengals were killing it in the playoffs, and you're trying to buy Joe Burrow cards. They're like, yeah, when he wins the Super Bowl in 5 weeks, it's going to be worth so much more. But it's not 5 weeks from now. Right. It's now. I'm not paying 5 weeks from now prices now. I think all you could do is do the best you have with the information you have in front of you. And the information I have in front of me right now is I'm pretty okay with my 6-player tier. And then starting with the 107, I can probably guarantee when the draft comes around, it will move up closer to like 4. Because Hall or Spiller are going to go to shitty situations. The quarterbacks are probably going to drop to the bottom of the first, in which case usually that means
they're not going to play. Yeah.
So like
Lamar
there's
Jackson
a very
was
good chance.
29th?
But right now, again, while I do believe in the long term, it will be the wrong answer. I'm fine sticking with the 106 for right now.
I do think I like the idea of trying to get David Bell and George Pickens in this class. It's pre-draft.
But you don't have to do it at the 106.
But yeah, that's what I was going to ask about.
The problem is you have to do it.
I'm in the same place, but then when I'm going to try and trade back in for a 2nd-round pick, I'm just going to throw that out there. That is where my line is, but I am interested in some players that are going to be deeper down. Like I would value. It's weird. Like I'm expecting to value some of my 2nd-round picks more than that, but I would trade that first. You see what I'm saying? It's weird.
Yeah. No, I get it. I absolutely get it.
And that's just
okay.
because I like to do kind of like your wait and see tax, but there is more opportunities. There's a whole year of games where those picks, the players you choose, can drastically outpace the value increase of those expected 2023 picks, because they will definitely increase a little bit as we get closer to the draft, but a player can drastically leap it because there are games, and there's an upside component to it. But anyway, I'm just overthinking.
But they can
that.
also
The 106 is a fine line.
They can also Terrace Marshall it.
Yes, yeah,
Absolutely.
that's yeah. Just don't, but not. That's
the
why
picks-
I don't draft
the
Terrence
picks are-
Marshalls.
but the
I don't
picks
know
are
why
not-
people do that.
The picks don't have that risk baked
Or Rondell
in.
Moore.
The picks are not going to have a bad season and lose value. The picks are going to be
Yeah, exactly.
23
It's more
picks.
certain. But
and again, like
Well,
I would
that's
rather have. I'm more confident in the 23 class than I am in whoever I'm getting 6 picks into this draft.
I'm just saying that the minute I did it, I'd be strongly thinking like, who's got the 201 and the 202?
Well, he's got the
trying to
202
get back
already.
in at some point.
He's got the
Well,
202.
yeah.
He's first thing on
Okay,
top.
well, you just got an answer for everything. Fine.
Yeah.
David Shaheen, no relation. We asked. Heard Drake London say in an interview he's not going to run at the combine due to an ankle injury. His production is still excellent, but is this a red flag? No.
I mean, didn't he break?
I think
his
that's really
leg
smart.
at the end of the year. Like that's probably why he's not running.
I'm not even going to
dude,
ask. Like that's a fine decision.
If
Why
it's an
wouldn't-
injury issue, I don't see why it would be a red flag. If someone just came out with the decision to say, I'm not running, then
No,
you
yeah.
start to think about it. And sometimes there's real reasons why. Like sometimes players have nothing left to prove. There's no reason for them to go get laser times. Let them go run at their pro day so they get a nice, favorable hand time and call it a day. But
Is the NFL allowing interviews? Wasn't there a whole thing with the play because of the COVID restrictions? They wouldn't get to interview.
I think
them?
they sorted that out because of money.
yeah,
because
everything
players
comes
wouldn't
down to
run
that, yeah.
if they didn't. Yeah.
But no, I mean, like London broke his ankle at the end of the season, so like I'm not surprised that he didn't run. It's I don't think it will hurt him draft capital wise. I mean, it didn't hurt Corey Davis. It was same thing. So you know, I'm that to me is not the red flag.
I don't think there are many questions around Drake London for the NFL. And if they get to interview him
That's
and they
a very
get to
good
do
point.
all the other process, I think someone in Drake London's position, even if he wasn't actually injured, yeah, I wouldn't red flag it myself. Yeah, that's where I would be.
Wow, we
Yes,
are
there's
so
more.
far behind.
I'm trying. Randy Wyatt, 14-team PPR Superflex. Brady was only quarterback. Condolences. And no first till 2025.
Oh no.
Traded for Zach Wilson, Wentz, Matt Ryan. Oh, you're good then. The 11th pick has Swift, Taylor, Elijah Moore, Chase Pitts. What did you have to trade to just get quarterbacks, by the way? Don't answer that. What to do with the one trade it for 23 first, I guess.
If yeah, honestly,
If you
I
can.
would put the 111 with one of those quarterbacks and upgrade. Like if you can get a good quarterback
Oh, yeah.
for 111 and Matt Ryan, I would probably do that.
Yeah, especially Ryan because he's kind of on his last hurrah here.
It depends on the trade, but I think Ryan's the most. I think he's undervalued. Like I'm fine starting him next year, but whatever. Joe, I don't know why I have to say it like that every time, but I do. I'm
You're just very
competing in a one
excited,
quarterback. I am. So give me a player to trade for my 23 first right now. It's not probably bad process, but people are overvaluing 23 first, and I want my team to start off hot. Not a bad
Okay,
question.
good. Give me some good players because I have to write this article for DLF in a week or two.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Let me see. A single first is a tough get. My mind's going to be on wide receiver, I guess. For a single first, Marcus Brown,
No,
think
higher,
you're doing
Peter,
better than that.
higher.
Deontay Johnson.
That would be a great
That's
start.
closer, yeah.
Yep. Devonta Smith or Elijah Moore.
I just got to that area. Yeah. I was talking with Addison, it's Wednesday today, about the idea of Devonta Smith for a 23 first, and he was full on 23 first over Devonta Smith and Elijah Moore, actually.
Mhm.
His idea was he's not a fan of Devonta Smith in Philly. So that cap on Devonta Smith to him, he's saying he would rather take the shot with that random first that he might be able to get a player with a better ceiling. I don't know, man. Like Elijah Moore, we liked the idea of Elijah Moore, and we wanted to see if he could be more than just a slot receiver. And we sort of saw that on a very crappy offense. So I think I would send my random 23 first for Elijah Moore.
I'd rather have Smith than Moore.
I said him because I'd do it.
I'd rather have Smith than Moore. So for Smith, if Smith's ceiling is capped this year by Jalen Hurts will not be the quarterback going forward. Like that's the thing. Like Philly is this. I know we don't want to talk about this because Jalen Hurts was such a good fantasy quarterback. Like he's on the hot seat this year. Where like he's got to play well, or they're gonna move on. So
like 2 full rounds separating Moore and Devonta with Moore over Smith.
Yeah, see, that's wild to me. I think Smith is a much better player, and I like Elijah Moore, but like I think Devonta Smith is a much better player.
Given his age, do you think you can get Stephon Diggs for a random 23 first right now? I mean, I think it's a tall ask. But
what about DJ Moore?
If you can get Deontay Johnson,
I think you can get
maybe.
DJ Moore.
Probably.
Because we just talked about DJ Moore being young, being that like pretty much locked top 24 with like low end wide receiver one upside in a season. Like that's a thing.
You think you can get Mark Andrews?
I mean, I'm on it, but yeah, probably. Most tight ends should be worth first, right?
I mean, it's a different direction that people won't see coming. That's the only reason I put it out there.
I would
Especially
do that,
if there's
probably.
any sort of premium. Like, sure, give me a couple of extra points for the hell of it.
I mean, George Kittle probably get him easier for a first. If
Oh, for sure.
Tight end. So all of these are list, or we're gonna pick one?
Oh no, I'm not picking one because it's.
Everyone we just named, we would consider. It depends who's most available in your league. I think that's the best way we can go. It's Terry McLaurin a sell. We trade for a 2022 first mid. I'd rather have Terry McLaurin.
His value is very, very low right now because he's coming off of a very, very bad season on a trash offense. It is hard to imagine a world where Washington doesn't bring in a quarterback. Like they can't go in with Heineke again.
Right.
In which case the world is going to get better for McLaurin. Also, fingers crossed they bring in another wide receiver. Like they need another pass catcher. And if Gibson plays healthy, that could be a pretty good offense. In which case I like Terry McLaurin. So I don't think he's a sell right now because I think his value will get better with the more people that Washington brings in. I'm going to stick to calling them Washington, by the way. I don't really want to call them the Commanders.
I think Terry McLaurin is one of those players he's outside of career arc. His top 12 best, most likely year he's going to finish in the top 12 this year, and obviously finished outside the top 24. He's a slightly older prospect as it is. He's had one good fantasy season, an impressive rookie season, but it wasn't, inside the top 24 or anything. Mm-hmm. It's about what trade it is. I think most trades you're going to get, I'd rather have Terry McLaurin. I would not sell him for a random mid 2022 first.
Yeah.
FF Lefty, what can you trade Schultz for in draft capital? Anything, apparently. You can get freaking.
If you can get any first, I would do it.
Yes.
Because I just don't care about tight ends. Though it will be very hard to replace your tight end position with that premium if you don't already have another one on your team.
He is probably, for me, a hold for what you can get for him because he is one of the few tight ends who saw 100 targets last year. There were 7 of them last year or 6 of them last year, and he was one of them. So with that 2-point premium, I don't think I mean, if you get a first, great, like ship him, but man, I don't, and again, I don't love Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of general consensus. I don't think many people love Dalton Schultz. So he's the sneaky 100 target tight end that you're probably not going to get somebody to pay up for.
I mean, they finally found Jason Witten to replace Jason Witten. I think is what it comes down to.
And what can you trade him for in terms of draft capital?
Man, see, the problem is
you can get a second.
I love tight end premium. To me is necessary. I do like tight end premium. It really it's getting better, but for a while it really, really, really overvalued tight ends. But I think it's getting a little corrected right now.
It is 2-point tight end premium.
No, it just creates a bigger striation in the tight ends. It's literally
tight end premium is not to fix anything within tight ends. Tight end premium is to fix tight ends versus wide receivers.
But it's not. But it doesn't actually do that though. It just makes 6 tight ends better than all the other tight ends, and the other tight ends
not as crappy.
It does make those 6 tight ends more flexible though. And
spot. Right. Well, and Russ doesn't realize this, but I kind of have broken his system in terms of the teams that I have are really bad in his leagues, but they finish highly because I have in most of his tight end premium leagues a combination of 2 of Andrews, Kittle, Kelsey, that's
I have multiple teams with Waddle and Kelsey. I get it
because that's the cheat code in those, and Zach Ertz last year was a cheat code in those. But that's the way to attack a tight end premium league is to, especially in the startup, those tight ends, even though they're overvalued, they're undervalued. Those top 6 tight ends are you could draft 3 of them and just be happy.
In TA10. Which we drafted in before this past season, but we didn't start points yet. The league itself starts this coming season. I drafted Kelsey, Waller, Goddard, Gesicki, and Logan Thomas. I went nuts at tight end because I knew I'd be able to move them once we actually started caring about points.
I try and
I would just start
if I see the league hasn't adjusted to the tight end position. I'm in one that starts 2, and so I have 3 or 4 starters. And no one's figured it out. So I've actually got them at fairly good
idea for a league ever.
Yeah, sure, but I'm in it, so I'm doing something with it. Stop hating me.
Oh, well,
honestly, what I'm probably doing with Schultz is trying to get one of the players they just mentioned instead of focus, because I think what Zach said is right, that it's not going to be good enough if you're just looking for draft capital. But if you can add and get Kittle, Kelsey, Waller, that's what I'd be interested in doing with Schultz or keep him. Same way, I do the same thing with Gesicki. I do the same thing with who else do I have up there? Fand. I'm either upgrading them or just hold on, I guess. Bayesian adjustments for yards per route run. Yeah, that's the Adam Harnstead thing. That he's explained it to me. I get it, but I want to steal what he does, and also I'm a simple man.
We're doing the Dynasty Trade Calculator flagship pod. It's me, Izzy, and Dakesh. And there are just times where I'm just like, what are these 2 talking about? They're saying smart words and I don't get them.
Basically,
way too good at this game.
This is you pretend they have more attempts or more routes, and you give them the league average performance on those routes. And so you're going to adjust players who have a smaller sample but good yards per route run down, but they're still going to look pretty good. Right. And those who have poor route performance, you're just going to bring everyone towards the median, basically.
That
towards the median.
Actually makes perfect sense.
It really does. It's really, like most Adam Harnstead stuff, it's genius and incredibly simple. It's a good idea.
He was calling me crazy today with my Outhouse Challenge stuff. And he's like, you probably should have done this and probably should have done that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, yeah. I never claimed to be smart. That's your job.
Yeah. But if I wasn't just obsessed with trades, I might have made some good decisions. Yeah. Very trusted CAH owner. Will he ever be a reliable running back 2 in fantasy? I think he's got a good shot to do it next year.
Isn't he reliable RB2?
No. Reliable? No. Running back 2? Yeah. I think I
don't have him anywhere.
I would
hold. I don't know how he really finished.
I think we all hate him so hard right now. You have to hold, and I think he could have a career year. which isn't saying much for fantasy in terms of CEH, but I'm interested to see what he does.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull up a scoring thing. Yeah,
Good.
about 12 points per game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little rough. Hold on, let me click average. He was RB30 in points per game. That's kind of rough. And he missed a bunch. Yeah, all right, never mind. He's not.
Frank N just said he's probably gone by now, but he stopped by to say he's having a hard day at work, but he wanted to thank us. Like, I really appreciate you taking the time out of a hard day at work to come say that. To be honest, man, that means a lot. I appreciate that. I'm just skipping over Cash. He's talking about more stat stuff. I'm going to answer it and then not address it. Yeah, it's a really interesting one, Cash. I swear it is. It's just the volume is the key. And it's not that it's negative, but there's more risk in it. And there is more risk in it, no matter how you want to Bayesian and adjust it. Andrew Carlson, would you trade the 301 for Gus Edwards? 1 QB PPR. I mean, sure.
Bleh.
I mean,
probably not.
I don't care.
Yeah. I don't think in it.
I probably do it just to have a trade.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever, man. If that makes you happy, that's pretty much what I'll go with. If it makes you happy to do that, sure. It's fine.
Tony is underrated.
That's how far behind we are.
I think he's fairly rated right now. Like what Outhouse was saying, the value you're giving in trades is honestly great for the upside. I don't have a lot of complaints about that one right now. But there's enough noise and people noticing it, and those that are noticing it have a lot of influence. And I just, especially the way he was panned as a rookie, probably overly so. Even I noticed that in my, like, I didn't like his rookie profile, but he was the guy the nerds ganged up on to talk about how little he was gonna do. Like, an understandable response to that is to go, let's slap a nerd, and because we're fun to slap, especially when we're that arrogantly confident a player's not going to do anything, and then they're impressive on the 13 targets or whatever Zach said. So I'm expecting a rise. That's where I'm at right now. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Minute it jumps up, I don't know about that. Showed to be more than I'd have to ask Zach about that. Was he more than a gadget player this year?
Who this year?
Tony?
Well, no, he was absolutely a gadget player this year.
What
he seemed to get the ball and then do weird shit no one else can.
That's what he does. Like he's
that
great
seems
once,
to be
what he's great once he gets the ball.
There were 2 games where he was the only receiver on the field, so he got like 12 targets, but they were also probably like an 8 out of 3. I mean,
and I think
that is anecdotal. I'm making it up because I don't actually have it in front of me, but and also like the game after he did that, he got hurt because he can't really handle all that.
It's not a feature. It's not a bug. It's a feature with Tony. He's not a wide receiver. He's incredibly athletically gifted, so he can do some amazing shoot when he gets the ball, and that's just hard to rely on. And I guess that's both the plus and the minus right there. He's amazing, and it's difficult to know if it's consistent.
I mean, we're hoping for him to be Tyreek Hill, and that's a rough expectation to put on anyone.
Joe Herbert, I thought Christian Watson didn't perform well against physical DBs, and he didn't have a clue how to manipulate them either. I wanted to be on board with him, but not seeing it yet.
He runs by them. That's what. That's all they. That's all they asked him to do is run by them, and he does that.
Fair enough.
Like Kyler, he'll be if he ends up somewhere with a big arm quarterback. If he ends up in Los Angeles with the Chargers, or ends up in Buffalo, or ends up one of those teams where there's a quarterback that's going to throw it, he's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, a general Dynasty Grind comment here. I'm trying to grind through all the comments this week. We usually end up doing this show for 3 hours. I'm trying to get them out earlier this week, as I say every week, but I'm strongly aware that 11:30-ish is kind of a cutoff for some of us.
That's how it's happening tonight. Peter, I'm sorry.
We're trying to get to them. If not, please continue to come back and ask us questions.
We can say this is so easily the Lamar Josh Allen side and just move on.
I agree. Yeah, at a glance. Cody Hutchinson, 12-team PPR Superflex tight end premium. Swift or ETN on a first? That's a closer one than I thought it would be.
I would, like we've said before, we're all good for moving off of Swift. I want more than that.
Yeah, that's not enough, but I like the idea. Keep plugging
Yes.
it, I guess.
Yes.
The worst athlete in the NFL would literally kill me in a 1v. Yeah, same,
Yeah.
man. Like in any sport, they would beat me at Tiddlywinks. That's how much physically gifted they are over the average person, in my personal opinion. Like, I thought that was funny. Joe, yes, but Russ, I feel like you're valuable. Then production is built in. JT and Najee are who I want for production purposes, not simple. Yeah, and that's the thing. You can't buy JT and Najee Harris's production. You have to buy their value.
Not.
That's why.
She plays in high stakes leagues, so it's a very, very different conversation.
That's fair.
But there is absolutely dynasty value and fantasy value. Dynasty value has nothing to do with production. That's a lie. Has like that much to do with production. Has this much to do with age, athleticism, and upside. I mean, that's really what I'm more talking about right now, especially because it is March. I mean, this is going back to the Javante conversation. I don't think production really is baked in because Javante's RB5, but I mean, what did he actually do this year? Hold on, Control F, Williams. Javante Williams would be RB25 in points per game.
That's literally the disagreement here. Most high-value players do have production and value. Some are more value than they are production, and that's kind of where we're at with Williams right now. Some are more production than value, and those are the old guys like Michael Thomas and Stephon Diggs who are falling down, or Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Joe Mixon, who are all falling. And Joe Mixon just came off another top 12 season because they're more production than they are value. There's always a balance in there. And the reason we're pointing out Javante isn't because the production or the value isn't good. It's that it's more value than it is production.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, sure, but you can get a league winner plus. That's what we're saying. We think we can get you can get your league winner plus. Not trading him once I get him. If you've got him on your roster, I agree it would be a hard trade because his value is so high. You would need. That's what we're saying. We'd only trade him at that value. Otherwise, we're keeping it.
Yeah.
James Conner on the 206.
We asked for that.
Last question.
206.
206, definitely. Cody Hutchinson. Did I sell too low on Javante? I traded Javante and Christian Kirk. Well, you added to Javante for something, so probably.
Yeah,
for the 106, 107, 301. Yeah, that wouldn't be enough for me.
That's too low.
Especially like Joe's pointing out, there's a lot of upside there.
You'd have a better chance if it was next year. If it was 23, 106, 107.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, dude. I hate to tell you after the fact. We stream every Wednesday, don't I tell you. Joe Herbert. Cody, I would say you sold very low. Yeah. Not very, but yeah, very.
It's pretty low.
It's pretty low. Andrew Carlson, you sold too low. Sorry. Well, at least we're on the same team as a majority. Parker Wilson, ETN, and a 23 first.
He was answering that trade question for Swift.
Yes, he was. Daniel Mai, mid Superflex startup right now. Saquon went running back 12. Yep.
I know, again, like we have his ADP because we were just talking about it, but I'm kind of curious. I'm going to go back to the Superflex running backs. Saquon Barkley is RB6. He has an ADP of 33.75. Oh, well, he was drafted as early as 13. So there was 4 drafts, which first of all is kind of low.
Not
13, 38, 39, 45. So this is insanely skewed by one person.
Yeah.
What was I going to say here?
Damn it, Brian.
Damn you, Brian. What was I just looking for? Cody, here's the thing. You did something I have done and will do more times. I'm talking with Joe right now. I'm so certain that Javante is overvalued. I go and trade him for the best I can get. And it's a bad move. Like, if you can't find that value in your league, he's not overvalued. I sold Tyreek Hill. I sold Patrick Mahomes once. Too low because I knew he was overvalued by ADP. It's an easy trap to get caught into. Yes, he's overvalued. He is not apparently overvalued in your league if that's the trade you got back. That's not overvaluing him. Joanna Sanchez. Yeah, I just went ahead and said it. I'm not paying no stinking wait and see tax, Russ. That's the difference. The difference is she's out there winning high stakes leagues. Okay,
yes,
and we're
1000%. Yes, yes.
You definitely have to do what you think with your team, especially if you're paying money for it. Parker Wilson, Lamar,
32nd. Yeah, the Patriots had the 20. Yeah, because I wanted the Patriots to take him at the 29th or whatever it was, and I was mad that they didn't.
And he also wouldn't have started nearly as early as he did if Flacco didn't get hurt. Yeah. But that's a different story. And it was also
is Kamara worth 105?
No.
Yes, but you shouldn't do it. That makes sense. Like I want Kamara at that value, but like everything, like it's just not what I do this time of year. It's not what I do with my value right now.
Right. Kamara's value will never go up again, and I don't think it is where
you're trading.
It's so funny to me to watch Russ's brain think through trades because you like that's the like you and Bosch and like all of these people that I know that think almost purely in value, and I'm sitting there going, it's close. Because
it probably is.
If you make that pick, Russ, if that pick becomes a player in the 2022 class, is it still Kamara versus that player? Or is it because it's a pick and you can trade that?
Both.
Oh, both.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I thought that'd be a difference maker. Forget it. Carry on.
Let's pretend. Well, first of all, let's pretend this is super flex because that's a very. I assume everything is. Right. So if it's a super flex, you're talking. All right, we're going to take Willis out. We're going to take probably Burks out. So we are talking Hall, Spiller, Garrett Wilson. Let's just talk about those two running backs because if we want to make it as even as possible of a conversation, you're going to take two running backs, which we are going to assume get second round. I just saw a marker on my hand. Probably second round draft capital for them to have to be where they are now. Because again, we are just trying, we don't have the real information. So it's all hypothetical. What is going to be the value of the top two running backs most likely taken in the draft who will land on teams that need them? It will be more than a 27-year-old receiving back on a team that is trash right now. And that's really all it comes down to in my head. I know Zach is completely disagreeing with me, but it's just
again, it depends on what my team looks like. If I think I can win this year, I'm taking Kamara 100 times out of 100 because Kamara is going to be a top 8 running back this year. It doesn't matter his team is trash. He's going to be Russ. He will. Unless he gets hurt, he's going to be top 8 because he catches enough passes. He's going to be fantastic. He's going to be Alvin Kamara.
He scored a lot of receiving touchdowns last year. I don't know. I don't know why. Like, it's really funny. For the past, 2 years, I've been saying of all of these top-end running backs to hold on to, Alvin Kamara is that guy because I think his value will decline slower than everyone else's because worst case scenario, he's a great third down back. He will have a role in the NFL for pretty much as long as he feels like doing it because that's how good he is. And, I'm starting to, convince myself otherwise, even though once the season rolls around, I'm probably going to start believing it again. So it probably is just me and not necessarily rookie fever, but maybe rookie pick fever, where I think that the picks are just kind of worth more right now.
I think this could come down to how you've played it. This is an active league, and in my leagues, I'm really on the fence. I'm leaning Kamara. My best running back in most of my teams is Myles Gaskin. This is how I get running backs.
Yeah,
that can do anything. And in which case, the value is on the pick side. I get it. If you get a running back at the 105 that's anyway decent, if it's Walker or Spiller, or it's not going to be Spiller or Hall, by the way, it's going to be Walker. You're hoping to get Walker there. Or George Pickens, say. This time next year, the value's there. I'm not getting running backs like Kamara any other way, and it's because these old guys fall in value to here. So it strongly depends on your team, but I lean the 105 because all my teams look like that. This is where I find my running backs, if I find them.
Well,
And that or
but
the waiver wire or the second and third round, and you just can't get the Hall and the Spillers any other way. You have to wait till they get old.
Yeah, but I don't know that.
I do.
I don't think that Hall and Spiller are the difference-making running backs, though, in fantasy.
I know, but
I don't think their ceiling is Alvin Kamara at the end of his career. Alvin Kamara at the end of his career. I don't think their ceiling is top 8.
David Montgomery, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
But they would still be more valuable this time next year.
Like you brought up 2 names I was literally about to bring up. What would you rather do right now? Trade the 105 for Kamara or draft Hall? And this is completely speculative because so much has to go into this situation. Draft Hall or Spiller and then trade them for Jacobs in a second when you get closer to the season.
I still want Kamara. Kamara's better than
I think Kamara outscores Jacobs.
But that again, that's how I tend to play. Unless I've identified a class that I am going after, I don't care about these. Like, it's not moving the needle over the top. A guy who can be the running back 1 in a season, and Kamara can.
Still strongly comes down to what, like, you can't sustain missing on Jacobs if it's my team and I wait and do that instead. If Jacobs doesn't have like his career year this year, like I don't have a chance. I just wasted the year basically. Whereas Kamara for the 105, it's actually a 70% chance that pick doesn't have a lot of value this time next year, Russ. And I didn't give up too much.
I'm not talking about next year. I'm talking about 5 months from now.
Kamara finished as a running back 8 in both. Total and not total, but points per game. Can you name his quarterbacks last year?
Probably not.
Jameis
for a game.
Ian Book.
Yeah. Okay.
Trevor Siemian.
Really? Wow, I missed that.
Dynamic offense. So you don't think that they're going to end up with somebody that throws the ball at least better than that group, even if they draft somebody?
I kind of just want Jameis to get healthy and go back.
That's fine, but I'd rather have that's like I think that
you're absolutely right, and I'm kind of happy you're doing this to me because you're pushing me back to what I believed in the first place. Like, because I don't know why I soured on Kamara for no reason whatsoever, but like the fact that it's March, the fact that it's a 27-ish year old running back, 26.6, and the answer should be Kamara. The answer absolutely should be Kamara. But
for reference, right now in the DLF ADP, Malik Willis, who's going at 101, is going 2 picks in front of Kamara.
Wow. Okay, then
and again, like, I'm not trying, like,
that's not everything. I understand that.
This is closer. Like, this is closer than I'm making it sound. Like it gives me pause. But the way I tend to play, I want that ceiling. And if I don't think that there's a player that's giving me that ceiling at 105, then I'm taking Kamara.
Yeah, it's strongly about how much value you have in it. Can you take that hit to get those points? That's where I'm at. Most of my teams, like, I have younger wide receivers. I think I'm mostly good with value. I'll take the shot. But some of my teams, I don't have the 105 to even try this because I spent so much on young wide receivers. So, it's close. I think
it depends on. I mean, it depends on what my team is. If my team is a middle of the pack team, like if I earn the 105, probably Kamara's not pushing me over the top. So I'm taking the 105. If the 105 is not my pick and I'm a pretty good team, then I'm probably going after Kamara. I just did my shrug. They make fun of me at work because I do that. That's when I'm done with you. I just
I think this is strongly what's your team look like, and that means it's even. It's good. You can lean either way depending on other factors, maybe. Best we got. Rob Downs, 101, 204, and Calvin Ridley for Justin Jefferson.
Still Jefferson
Yes,
for me.
Justin Jefferson all day. Do that. I'll sit here till you tell me you do it, Rob. I'm going to check. I'll scan ahead. Just do that. Yeah. Jackson P, excluding QBs, does this class seem deeper than... No, it's shallower. I know what you mean, because there's going to be... Players are harder to separate, and so it feels thicker. It feels like there's more options. Instead, I think it means you have to be more selective. It's not deep, it's flat. Actually, that's a good description.
Oh, man. I look forward to you guys catching up to Akesh completely calling me out at exactly what I'm doing.
It's okay. I'll skip it. It's fine. He was using an interim game to... he's very good at creating space. What did I miss?
I don't know.
That might have been Watson.
Yeah, there you go. Daniel Meyer, Saquon went 5.4 or 52 overall.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's going to bounce around a lot.
Yeah.
Peyton Massey, I would like to move on from Amari Cooper, please. Yeah. What are some decent returns for him? 23 first. Generically.
I don't think you're getting that for Cooper, but
I think you should or keep.
You probably should, but I don't think you are.
Outside of that, you can try.
Get Darren Waller for him.
Get Darren Waller for him. I was actually. Did you get Hunter Renfrow in a second? That's too low. No, I wouldn't do that either.
I would take Hunter Renfrow a second for Amari Cooper right now.
Yeah, you're looking for first round value, and you're probably going to have to make it with a second and a player that you like that well.
Yes, you're very.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Joe. A deep pool of mediocrity and niche players. Deep is high level. Yep, absolutely. It is like the reason why people are saying it's deep is because there are a lot of names, but there are not a lot of good names.
It's because we know there's going to be some good names in this class, like Dynasty must-haves, top 12 players here and there, and no one wants to admit we do not know who they are. Like, best guess, here you go. Probably Burks, Hall, Spiller. Best guess. Outside of that, there's some others we don't want to say because it's hard. Like, it's difficult. We don't know. Bell, Pickens, maybe. I don't know. Everyone's got their favorite. Joe, would you say these years later round prospects are better than usual? In previous years, I don't remember this being this excited for my third round picks. I mean it. I think within a class like this, it's better to actually just take your shot, overdraft that second round pick instead of thinking I'll just wait for the guy I like in the third. So I end up with so many JJ Arcega-Whiteside shares. I liked him, but he was so much later than all the other guys I liked. It just felt like a value, but you just end up with like a JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Russ, I like Kamara even when he's old. Kamara gets old. Russ,
That's exactly what just happened. Yeah.
He's a dynasty player. What do you want from him? Russell Wilson, how do we feel about him for a production standpoint next season? He's my QB1 in both my 12-team leagues. I think he's fine as a QB1. I think he's a disappointing QB1. Like, he's incredibly talent-wise is very different to his fantasy performance for most of the year. He's fine. You're fine. I think Beauty's in the beholder this year. Yes, I think that's probably much more along the lines of how I think of it. Players like Kevin Harris and Pierce are definitely intriguing. Okay, well, I was with you to a certain point. Alex Sanders to JCIC. That's the way I'm saying it. Got off a Derrick Henry for Andrews in a 1 QB, 1.5 tight end premium. Thoughts? Derrick Henry's value is just low right now, right?
It's weird. I don't know, man. I would probably ride Andrews just because it's the safer move right now. Like, I don't see a reason to go get Derrick Henry right now.
Yeah, but I don't think you get him for Andrews like the day before the season or nothing. Right?
I absolutely think you can.
Oh, okay.
Like 2 games into the season, it might be a different story. If we see 2 straight games of 25 touches for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, then Henry will raise his value again. But I don't think that happens until we see that in season.
With the Kamara question, I was worried about the league situation. Thoughts?
I don't remember
league situation.
Oh, yeah, because of the
question.
because he it's involved in an altercation. So like he could be suspended.
Oh, of course.
Wow, I forgot about that.
I forgot. Wow, how much shit is going down that you can forget something like that?
Well, because
fair.
we don't even know what
guess.
happened though. Like that's the
Still,
thing. Like
That's weird.
Like Las Vegas
Yeah.
Police Department has not released anything. They were like, we have a tape, and Kamara was like, yeah, that was me.
How did
And that's all we know.
That yet? Come on, get off
You'd
your
think
ass.
normally it happens quick succession after that. It almost feels like it went away.
Well,
Well,
now that I'm remembering this, usually, like they were offered a court date, and usually guilty people would be like, push it back as far as possible because we need as much time to get stuff.
Right.
And they were just like, no, okay, we'll do that. And I remember a lot of people saying, oh, well, that's usually a good sign
Yeah.
for a defendant. And still, nothing. I don't remember anything happening with.
Yeah, I
that.
haven't heard anything on it since then.
Completely forgot about that.
I think the one thing that is positive with the Kamara situation, and this is going to sound a little, but like it was a guy that he hit. And so I think that the league doesn't come down as harshly on that. I mean, it's still not a good
He
look.
does get paid to do that for a living, to be fair.
Well, he gets paid to not get hit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I just realized I'm not making light of a legal situation. I have no idea. It is really interesting that it literally just dropped off the radar. Mostly in those situations, it's just a hold. I will take a good player that I don't believe the NFL is just going to give up on.
And are you going to be
like Zach was saying? It doesn't seem like a highly likely he gets booted by the league.
What's the worst that's going to happen with this? Like, if you were told you're getting Kamara starting week 3, would that change his value that much for you?
No. He's all about the points at this point anyway. So, would you trade Burrow for Kyler Murray straight up? Yes, I want Kyler. Yes. I want Kyler Murray in that deal. Even if you had Chase, I don't worry about that so much.
Facts don't matter.
It's your team, but I don't think it matters. Joe also loves Harrison Pierce. I'll look again, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to come up with the same. They could land in interesting places. That's the only way they could get interesting to me. But I don't watch them, so I don't know things. Like Zach constantly says, I can't know about these players because I don't watch them. Straw manning people is fun. We're at the end of the comments, man. If you guys want to talk about stuff or like you want to take the opportunity to get out, I don't know. How do you feel?
Well, he did say 11:30 and it's 11:35. So...
I know, right? It's like they respected us this week. Like we're just going to ask enough questions to get to 11:30 and then we'll stop.
I mean, we got Joe and Joe. They're pretty.
Yeah, we can leave and they'll just be here talking to each other. That's fine.
I mean, they probably have just as good a time.
All right, never mind. We're going to put on the show just for a Kakash. Let's do it.
We have no content ideas if you guys aren't asking questions.
I'll ask questions.
Hey, man. I could talk for another 2 hours about the amount of crap I went through with the Outhouse Challenge. But no.
Actually, could you give us a basic idea? Like, is there a trade that stands out or what's going on? Tell us.
Okay. I mean, I could just scroll through them. I mean, that's pretty easy.
You're going to write it up and stuff with DLS, so they might want to check it out.
I am not going to write that up. Screw that noise.
I thought something was going on.
Oh, no. I did it just for the hell of it. But it was... I threw at the beginning of the tweet, DLF is calling it Dynasty Trade Month, so let's just do this anyway. It was more of just I should probably try and, do DLF something because they give me money. But hold on, let me pull up profile. Scroll.
Let's see, Paula just made me laugh out loud, literally in real life. I retweeted our link to this show and was like, we're live and stuff, and I misspelled stuff, and his whole comment is, it's stuff, Pete. It's just telling stuff. And it made me laugh. How'd you get that one wrong? I don't know, man. I honestly don't. It wasn't intentional. You also asked a trade question. Michael Thomas and the 23 first for CeeDee Lamb side.
Very easily.
Yeah. Carry on, Russ.
Right. So the Outhouse Challenge again. Someone sends me an offer. I put it on Twitter. 4-hour poll. If the side getting offered to me wins, I accept it. A lot of people went after Waddle and Higgins for some reason, and I did lose one Waddle share to Brandon Ayuk in the 23 first. which I was not happy about. Frickin' John Hogue. Oh, hey, John Bosch. Yes, you will. You have tried to make me regret it, but it hasn't. Nothing too bad has happened yet with you. But a lot of people don't necessarily understand that, like, when this happens, you're not supposed to send shitty offers. Like, you're supposed to send offers that, you know, Twitter will accept. And a lot of people were going after young, very good wide receivers. Like, I was really surprised that Peter, you sent me Lockett and the 209 for Hollywood. And I mean,
I really thought I might get that.
I thought you would too. And you had it until the end. It was pretty close to 50-50 and then pushed.
I actually didn't like it. It's just my team sucks, so I may as well go for the younger guy.
But I did end up gaining a Hollywood. I got the first trade that went through was Hollywood Brown and Michael Gallup for Amon-Ra St. Brown, the 305 and a 23 second. I wanted to hold on to St. Brown in the second, but I'm not sad about Marquise and Gallup. This one was surprising. In a Superflex league, Mike Evans for Ryan Tannehill. Mike Evans won the poll handedly.
I know that's really screwed you in that league too.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit, like, right away. I'm like, okay, I need a quarterback now.
I need a quarterback now. I just traded him for a wide receiver.
A lot of people gave like, hey, let me give you Devonta Adams for this young stud wide receiver, and that's not going to work anymore, especially on Twitter. Like, youth matters way too much. And while Devonta Adams is awesome and his situation is weird, which takes away from his value, no less, like, man, he's like, what, 28, 29? That's not going to work anymore. Kamara and the 109 for Kelsey and a 23 second. I saw this and I'm like, crap, I'm going to end up with Kamara on my team. I knew it. And 60-40 was Kamara on the 109 over Kelsey and a 23 second.
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather have Kelsey in the 23 second. I'm not going to lie. Like that. Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the point of this exercise besides pain, Russ? Besides really making you hate Twitter?
No, none of it really actually upsets me. It's fun to just shake things up. That's really all it is. It's a way to fix boredom, but it also really is a way for people to see the disparity between a lot of things. Everyone overvalues their own side. That's what happens a lot in these, where the polls end up being 80-20 because people are afraid to give up too much. Like, there's no counter offering in this. So when you're doing this, it has to be your offer. And it shows that people are a little too afraid to send that anyway.
I literally went to the DLF trade calculator because I was like, I want Jalen Waddle. What do I have to give? And that's the offer that came up, CD in 2 seconds. And I did the same.
I thought that was going to be close. Like, I saw that and I replied to you. I'm like, I'm upset with you for sending this. Like, I really thought that would be close.
No, I was unaware the value had flipped, and it has, like we've talked about earlier in this show. Yeah. Like, Waddle's above Waddle's above that now. Wide receiver 5 or whatever you said.
And 24 first destroyed Rondale Moore.
Yeah, I traded for him 22 this week, and I did not have to get. I gave the 206. I had to go trade for the 206 to do it, which was fun. That's the trade I hated. I had to give up Noah Fant for Evan Ingram and the 206.
So I have a team where I'm rebuilding, so I'm upset this happened, but someone sent me the trade of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt for 2 23 seconds and a 24 first. And Chubb and Hunt destroyed that 86-14. Like, that's one of those funny situations where, like, yeah, I think I crushed that value in what I got, but it doesn't help my team. And yes, everyone goes after my future first because I do very stupid things. That you're not special on that one, John. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that league saw me coming. I'm going to blame you, I guess. I've got like 2 4th-round picks. After 1 year, I've given away everything except for 2 4th-round picks. I've got my 24s still, to be fair, because they just turned up. Oh, and I got a third of that trade, it turns out. whatever.
Anything else interesting? Memphis tried to get McLaurin, the 101, the 111, and the 23 first for Jonathan Taylor. And it went 60-40. That was actually closer. Darnell Mooney, 70-30, the 202. I was surprised by that.
Yep. I thought Gallup and Mooney would be sneakily valued by Twitter,
but like the 202, like I really thought the 202 would beat Darnell Mooney, but it did not.
Well, I'd rather have Mooney.
Deshaun Watson over Trevor Lawrence was surprising to me. I'm trying to see. Trevor Lawrence destroyed DK Metcalf 70-30.
Yeah, we've got a question about that tonight as well. DK value is a little funny.
Oh, here we go. Terrace Marshall and the 106 for a 23 first. The 23 first won 66-34.
Like, I wish I believed in Terrence Marshall even a little bit, because he's like a 3rd-round pick right now. But it's
yeah, that was absolutely like every single. This is from Jerry at Jerry Shea FF. Every single offer he sends, for some reason, has Terrace Marshall in it. Like I'm about to like message him and be like, dude, I'm going to reject on site if you just put Terrace Marshall there.
I just don't want to say he died on my roster.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got more Dynasty Dummy Hootenanny podcasts coming out, and apparently absolutely nothing is going to happen with this trade thing. But you can check it out on the Dynasty Outhouse Twitter feed. It's pretty cool. See all the trades popping. Join the league with Dynasty Outhouse. You can also send them when he does it.
Mm-hmm.
What is the next Hootenanny episode?
We're recording tomorrow night. I'll probably have it edited by sometime Saturday.
I'm fishing you for content ideas. I got to make some YouTube videos, and I'm like, but I ranked them already. What else?
Well, Peter, in probably 2 weeks, I'm going to have to invite you on to do our mock draft episode. So that'll be a couple weeks from now. But
I literally pulled it up on the screen. Like, they all saw it.
I was about to say, are there 2 A. Gibsons in this?
I look forward to that, by the way, Zach. It's like no one wants me on their podcast, so that might be the only time I get to talk to other people, and that'd be nice. Elijah Mitchell, Gibson.
He accidentally typed Gibson twice.
Michael Carter. I think he's interesting right now. 12-team Superflex PPR. Thinking of unloading Gibson and Mitchell for picks. Yay or hold? How many picks? I'd probably hold. Most offers, I'm probably going to hold Gibson. And
I think Mitchell. Somewhere in here, I got offered the 108 for Elijah Mitchell and the 108 1.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if that is how I would play that. Dynasty Twitter.
I have to... Let's see. The 105 is worth more than Zeke in the 23 second.
Yes, you did. Cash.
Ty Long, Kyler, AJB, Joe Burrow, Mike Evans, Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, the 108 for Elijah Mitchell and the 308, the 108 won 57-43.
Yeah, I think you're going to hold both based on their values right now. I think they're fair value.
Yeah,
but if you get a blockbuster trade, you trade them. You know,
you're going to have to find the right person, because there usually is an Elijah Mitchell, and I don't know if there's many Antonio Gibson guys left, but if you could find a person that is into those people, then go for it. 108. I just don't care about Amon-Ra St. Brown that much.
He's kind of an early second. Last time I checked the trade calculator value, I want him there. Late first.
I would wait until I was on the clock and see what was around at the 108.
Yeah, maybe that's the way to play it.
How much of that second tier wide receivers would you prefer over Amon-Ra?
Not as many as you would think, Russ.
Okay. See, I've been doing this too long, because not like deep in my heart, I'm like, Amon-Ra, but like I Travis Fulgham not so long ago, so I'm a little less hesitant.
No, Amon-Ra is a lot safer than.
Yeah, I know he's a lot better as well. It's just, you can only burn other people so much with your lower drafted player love. Honestly, I think I want the 108, but I think Zach saying wait on 2 on the clock.
Yeah, like look, if Pickens is there, great. If for some reason Garrett Wilson falls, or like if something weird happens, great. But most of these guys are at least a push for Amon-Ra St. Brown with what he's done in the NFL.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Zach needs to go to sleep.
I do.
We need to go, guys. Sorry. Check us out every Wednesday at 9:30. Sometimes I'm here on time, I swear. Check it out next week. I'll be here probably before 10 o'clock for sure. Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully. We're trying. We're out here struggling for dynasty takes in the offseason. Enjoy the combine. Enjoy the rookie tape, I guess. I don't know. What does a com game give you except for like headaches? I have to update the database. That's what it gives me. Anything
I don't have to do anything. I just shrug. Combine?
Washing your hair.
Yeah, always.
But yeah, see you next week, 9:30, weekly grind. Apparently, we're just going to keep going. It's meant to be a seasonal thing, and then we just still keep turning up every Wednesday because
we like each other.
That's it. That's it.
That's really what it came down to. Are we doing this in the once the season ends? Yeah,
I cool. Keep talking
and chilling with you guys for 2 hours. Okay.
That and the fact people keep turning up willing to talk to us, I think that's absolutely awesome. I really appreciate it, everyone. By the way, don't think we mentioned that. I'm waiting for someone to do the thing, not one of you.
Look over there.